As the firstborn heir of a top-tier clan, your grandfather is one of the mightiest warriors of the human race. Your grandmother is a breathtaking saint maiden. Your younger siblings have all stepped into the divine realm. Yet you spend every single day slumped in a wheelchair, too lazy to even feed yourself. A maid has to do it for you, and the entire clan looks at you like you're a disgrace. But here's the thing, you know the truth. You're not disabled. You just can't be bothered to walk. A brutal lesson from your past life taught you one thing. This time around, you're coasting. No exceptions. Even the system can't do a thing with you. A flame-quenched lizard offered a chance to awaken your power. You ignored it like trash. On your 18th birthday, your father finally snaps. Get yourself to Xiangnan First High tomorrow, he says. Go learn what it's like to live like a commoner. You just shrug. Not worth arguing about. It's just a different place to lie down. Blue Star Human Race, Federal Dragon Nation, the Principal's Office of Xiangnan First High, Xiangnan City, Jiangnan Province. Principal Du, has everything been arranged for my brother's enrollment? Mr. Li, rest assured, everything is in order. Good. My brother is in your hands. If anything goes wrong with him, I'm holding you personally responsible. Yes, of course, Mr. Li. No accidents will happen. I've expanded the school security team to 300 guards on standby around the clock. Feeling the razor-sharp pressure rolling off the man, Principal Dudewa nods without pause. The red-haired man gives a single nod. Next year, I'll have you transferred to Azure Dragon Academy. Thank you, Mr. Li. Of course, that's contingent on my brother's safety, naturally. Meanwhile, in class 3 of the first year, the homeroom teacher walks in with 2 new students, one of them seated in a wheelchair. His eyes are hidden, but even so, it's impossible to miss how strikingly handsome he is. The other one pushes the wheelchair. Equally young, sharp-featured, with a cool, unreadable expression. The careful, practiced way he handles the wheelchair makes it obvious. This one's either a study companion or a bodyguard. The moment the 3 of them step in, the classroom erupts. Those 2 are the new transfer students? They're so handsome. I wonder what their power talents are like. If they got into our school, their talent has to be solid. This is Xiangnan First High after all. I heard they got in through connections. Didn't even take a talent test. That's disgusting. I hate people who get in through the back door. Aren't you one of them too? Sure, but at least I took the test. Walking in without a test, that screams old money. Definitely from one of the major clans. People like that live comfortably even with 0 talent. Okay, but why is he in a wheelchair? Is he disabled? What a shame, he's so good looking. Though the one pushing the wheelchair is pretty cute too. More than a few girls fix their eyes on the wheelchair pusher, completely starstruck. He's not quite as handsome as the one in the chair, but he's definitely easy on the eyes. What's the big deal? I'm good looking too, a boy mutters, jealousy dripping from every word. The girls glance at him with barely concealed disdain. Nobody says a word. Silence falls like night. Alright, settle down. The homeroom teacher wraps the desk. Let's get to the point. These 2 are our new transfer students. Starting today, they're part of class 3. Let's give them a warm welcome. Applause fills the room. The boy in the wheelchair stirs, shifts slightly, then goes right back to sleep. Truth is, he was already awake. He just couldn't be bothered to take off his eye mask. Too lazy to move. Too lazy to stand. Because yes, Lilan can stand just fine. He is not disabled. He sits in a wheelchair for one reason and one reason only. He can't be bothered to walk. Lilan is 17 years old and a transmigrator. 17 years ago, he crossed into this world, a high martial realm reborn through spiritual energy awakening, and landed as a young master of the Li clan, the Yan Emperor's family, within the Human Race Alliance of Blue Star. His grandfather is the Yan Emperor, one of the strongest beings among the human race. His father leads the Li clan. Above him are 3 older brothers and 2 older sisters. So from the moment he was born, he was spoiled senseless. No matter what he did, someone was always hovering nearby. He couldn't even bathe himself if he tried. Over time, that bone-deep laziness just became who he was. His family wasn't happy about it, but they let it slide. After all, the Li clan was wealthy enough to support one idle young master. As for why he's here at school, it's just for the experience. His father put it this way: broaden your horizons, make some friends, and learn to understand the hardships facing the human race, to appreciate what he has. Just because his life is comfortable doesn't mean everyone else's is. 3,000 years ago, the spiritual energy awakening began. The alien realm merged with Blue Star, and the 10,000 clans rose to power. The human race has always been at a disadvantage. If not for the rare emergence of warriors like his grandfather, who shed blood and gave their lives for humanity, the human race might have vanished from history long ago. As his father put it, you can be useless, but you cannot be an idiot. Lilan doesn't particularly care about any of that. He obeys his father without question, because arguing takes effort. Sushin, Lilan, please introduce yourselves. The homeroom teacher's voice cuts through the room. Sushin removes Lilan's eye mask. Lilan sweeps the class with a dead fish stare, eyes so still they barely seem alive. So he wasn't actually sleeping, the teacher thinks, quietly exasperated. She smiles. Go ahead. Sushin steps up to the podium. His voice is calm and measured. Hello everyone, my name is Sushin. I am young master Lilan's study companion. Mid-rank, early-stage fire element sorcerer power talent. The room explodes. No way, that talent level? That's terrifying. Our whole school only has 2 people like that. Forget the talent. His actual cultivation is already mid-rank early stage. That's way beyond those 2. Wait, you're all missing the point. A genius like this is just a study companion for some guy named Lilan? Is Lilan the one in the wheelchair? Keep your voice down. He's right there. What kind of background does this Lilan have to have a companion that terrifying? Everyone turns to Lilan, eyes bright with anticipation. The teacher looks at him too. The principal never mentioned anything about a disability. Your turn, Lilan. Lilan doesn't spare them so much as a glance. He closes his eyes and goes back to sleep. The teacher goes silent. The entire class goes silent. Sushin quietly puts the eye mask back on. He turns to the teacher. Apologies, my young master is tired and needs rest. Allow me. He hasn't moved an inch or said a single word. How could he possibly be tired? The teacher swallows the thought and nods. Sushin steps back to the the podium. Hello everyone, this is my young master. His name is Lilan. Please look after him. Sushin steps down. The teacher stares blankly. That's it? That's all? Alright then. Sushin, Lilan, now that introductions are done, please take your seats. Your spots are in the last row, the very back 2 seats. Do you need any help? The teacher glances at the wheelchair with concern. Sushin shakes his head. No need. My young master is perfectly healthy. The teacher goes silent. The entire class goes silent. Everyone's eyes drift to the wheelchair. Do you even believe that yourself? Sushin wheels Lilan to the back row. Then something shocking happens. Sushin leans in and whispers something to Lilan, and Lilan stands up from the wheelchair, walks to his seat, and goes right back to sleep. No way. A medical miracle. The class watches with wide eyes, dying to see what he'll do next. But for the next full hour, Lilan does nothing but sleep face down on his desk. Not so much as a twitch. A bird lands on him. He doesn't even flinch. Sushin has to shoo it away. Just how lazy can one person be? And yet, the girls in class are completely starstruck, staring at him like he's a prince straight out of a fairy tale. The class is also dying to know, what exactly did Sushin whisper to him? What magic words made this colossal slacker actually stand up and walk to his seat? What he actually said was, "Young master, you really don't want me wheeling you around the entire school, do you?" 2 hours pass. Lilan doesn't move. 3 hours. Still nothing. 4 hours. Same. 5 hours in, Lilan finally moves, because Sushin forces him to. Sushin hauls him upright and feeds him, spoonful by spoonful. After eating, Lilan goes right back to sleep. Half the class doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Not an ounce of grace, and yet somehow even the way he eats is unfairly handsome. Can you please stop being so starstruck? You're too plain to understand. That evening, Sushin carries Lilan into the dormitory building. All the other rooms are 6-person dorms. Theirs is a 2-person room, though originally they each had a single. Sushin had it converted so he could look after Lilan more easily. Sushin sets him down on the bed. Lilan stirs, rubbing his eyes. Is it morning? He blinks, bleary-eyed. It's already night. Young master, it's time for bed. Do you need water? Lilan says nothing, but from that trademark dead fish stare, Sushin somehow reads the answer perfectly. He grabs a bottle of water, pops in a straw, and holds it to Lilan's mouth. Lilan drinks, then falls back asleep. In truth, his mind is wide awake. He just can't be bothered to open his eyes. 4 hours later, a mechanical chime rings out in his head. Ding dong. Transmigration confirmed. The Supreme Talent System has been awarded. Please make your selection. A talent system. Lilan doesn't even twitch an eyebrow. Whatever. Too much effort. 1 hour of silence. Then the mechanical voice returns. No selection detected. The Supreme Talent System has departed. Ding dong. Congratulations. The Supreme Villain System has arrived. Do you wish to become the greatest villain across all realms? Lilan ignores it. Another hour of silence. The Supreme Villain System has departed. Ding dong. Congratulations. The Godforged Slayer System has arrived. Lilan ignores it again. The Godforged Slayer System has departed. This repeats 4 or 5 more times. Dawn breaks. Congratulations. The Supreme Lazy Assist System has arrived. Do you wish to bind? Ding dong. Due to the host's failure to respond, the system has auto-bound. The Supreme Lazy Assist System is initiating power awakening. Please select an elemental direction. Ding dong. Due to the host's failure to respond, the system has selected automatically. Selection complete. Element type, elemental. Ding dong. Insufficient gold element detected in host. Gold element awakening failed. Ding dong. Fire element detected. Fire element awakening successful. Talent rank, triple SR. Ding dong. Power awakening complete. Please begin cultivation. Ding dong. Due to the host's refusal to cultivate, idle mode has been activated. Your fire element is furious at your laziness and has begun auto-cultivating fire element energy. Bonus time active. Your fire element is furious at your laziness and has resumed auto-cultivation. Bonus time active. Hours pass. Your sorcerer cultivation has risen to low rank mid-stage. The fire element is exhausted. Cultivation has halted. Lilan, rarely moved by anything, actually smirks. Tired already? You're useless. The fire element is enraged. Who are you to mock me? Cultivation resumed. Bonus 8. The fire element is enraged. Who are you to mock me? Cultivation resumed. Bonus 8. 80-some minutes later, the wake-up bell rings. Sushin handles Lilan's morning routine, sets him in the wheelchair, and rolls him into class. Just then, the system chimes. The fire element has collapsed from exhaustion. Cultivation automatically halted. Pathetic. Lilan couldn't care less. He puts his head down and sleeps. A week passes like this. Good mood this morning. Fire element has begun auto-cultivating. Bonus time active. Sorcerer cultivation has risen to low rank late stage. The fire element is feeling a bit tired. Cultivation halted. Already? What a waste. Lilan mocks it silently. This time the fire element doesn't take the bait. It simply goes quiet. Sushin runs through the usual morning routine, when suddenly he freezes and accidentally shoves the toothbrush straight up Lilan's nostril. Lilan is furious, but he can't be bothered to say a word. Can't even muster an eye roll. The dead fish stare holds steady. I'm sorry, young master, that was an accident. Sushin quickly apologizes. But something feels different about you today. While brushing Lilan's teeth just now, he sensed something. A raw, explosive surge of flame energy from deep inside. It lasted only a moment before vanishing, but Sushin caught it. Different how? Lilan doesn't bother speaking. He just gives Sushin a look that says, "You're done for." Lilan has no intention of telling anyone about his awakened power talent. Not because he wants to play the hidden genius or impress anyone, it's just that being a prodigy is exhausting. Not regular exhausting. Look at his eldest brother, who wakes at 5 every morning and sleeps past midnight, training non-stop and fielding challenges from talented rivals all over the world, all to defend the Li clan's standing and prove its power. And on top of that, lecture tours across the top academies, inspiring students, being the model for the next generation. That kind of life? Not for him. He much prefers this. A wheelchair and someone to handle everything. Young master, Sushin's voice. Lilan ignores him. Then a ball of fire flies straight at his face. He raises his hand on instinct, and the blazing fire ignites in his grip. He closes his fist around it and snuffs it out. He turns lazily towards Sushin and catches the look of pure shock on his face. Only then does Lilan realize he's been played. When did you awaken? Sushin breathes stunned. Why didn't you say anything? If they knew, they wouldn't have sent you to this place to study. Lilan says nothing. They look at each other. Silence falls like night. After a long moment, Lilan speaks. Couldn't be bothered. Sushin nearly falls over. But young master, your talent must be extraordinary. If you came forward, you'd get into the best schools, access the finest cultivation resources. Are you really content to live as an ordinary person your whole life? Ordinary. Are you talking about me? Lilan glances down at his outfit, worth more than most people earn in a year, then looks back at Sushin with unconcealed disdain. Sushin realizes somewhat belatedly that his young master is very much not ordinary. Better clothes, better food, better everything, and now apparently better cultivation too. The blow lands hard on Sushin, but he pushes on. Don't you want to grow stronger? Like your brothers? No? Lilan's second sentence of the day. Sushin falls silent. He knows he can't win this argument. He sighs. He hoists Lilan onto his shoulder, heads downstairs, and wheels him toward the classroom. The classroom is loud as always, full of familiar faces. Lilan doesn't know a single one of them, because he can't be bothered to learn their names or remember their faces. He just wants to sleep. A cold cola would be nice right about now. If he said anything, Sushin would get it. But talking is basically a workout. His left side itches. Whatever. Let it itch. The fire element is furious at your laziness. Auto cultivation of fire element energy initiated. Bonus active. The fire element is disgusted by your laziness. Cultivation resumed. Bonus time active. The fire element believes you are a worthless slacker. Cultivation resumed. Bonus time active. Hours later. The fire element is exhausted. Cultivation halted. Pathetic. Lilan lets out a mocking laugh. The fire element is furious at your mockery. Cultivation resumed. Bonus 7. The fire element is exhausted, but to prove it is better than you, it refuses to stop. Bonus time active. The fire element has passed out from exhaustion. Cultivation halted. Lilan says nothing. It passed out from cultivating. Truly pathetic. The fire element is coughing up blood from rage. Please stop mocking it. Lilan stays quiet. I'm just telling the truth. This class is history. The teacher up front talks at machine gun speed, and if he spots anyone spacing out, a piece of chalk flies across the room with near perfect accuracy. Lilan is no exception. Lucky for him, Sushin sits right in front. Sushin is built tall and broad, and the chalk keeps hitting him instead. A natural human wall. Lilan thinks, actually Sushin isn't so bad. When it came time to pick a study companion, Lilan had originally chosen girls, but his older sister decided that was inappropriate for his well-being and swapped them out for a male companion, namely Sushin. Looking at it now, there are some advantages to that decision, and Sushin is surprisingly attentive. The teacher drones on. 3,000 years ago, the spiritual energy awakening began on Blue Star. The 10,000 clans rose. Then came the alien realm merge. Through humanity's relentless effort, we finally built a complete power cultivation system. Today, our people have produced great figures, the Wood Emperor, the Yan Emperor, and others like them. They are humanity's heroes. We should revere them and strive to follow in their footsteps. As more alien realms continue to merge with Blue Star, the Blue Star of today is unrecognizable compared to what it was 3,000 years ago. The alien realms contain countless mysterious clans and just as many ruins. Some ruins are single-use, others are repeatable, and there are even more complex types. We'll cover those later. Based on credible theories, the repeatable ruins may have been training grounds built by an unknown advanced civilization, ranging from easy to brutal, safe to deadly. They reset and can be entered again and again. You'll all enter them one day. Now please turn to page 2. We'll be discussing 2 clans surrounding the Human Federation, the Wind Shadow Clan and the Savage Spirit Clan. The bell rings not long after. The classroom erupts in cheers. Sushin quietly makes his way to the trash can behind Lilan and beats the chalk dust off himself. Young master, it won't all come off. Sushin gestures at his once white uniform now dappled with color. Lilan almost says something comforting, but decides against it. A mental note of sympathy is enough. Actually speaking is too much effort. Before long, the homeroom teacher storms in. The class falls instantly silent. Class hasn't technically started, but when the homeroom teacher walks in, it's always class. Everyone scrambles back to their seats. Lilan keeps sleeping. This is the 4th class of the day. His left side itches again. Whatever. Keep sleeping. The fire element has recovered and is deeply disgusted with you. Auto cultivation of fire element energy initiated. Bonus time active. The homeroom teacher claps the podium and smiles. Everyone, I have an announcement. Starting tomorrow, we begin military training. A beat of silence. Then the class erupts in groans. Luyuya, the class academic rep, raises his hand. Military training is completely inelegant. Can I get an exemption? If I have to train outdoors, my fair skin will turn dark. The homeroom teacher smiles at him. What do you think? Luyuya shudders. I'm guessing yes. Luyuya, outside. Now. You could have just said no. That is completely inelegant. Luyuya mutters under his breath, sprays on a layer of sunscreen, and shuffles out of the classroom in short, mincing steps. Lilan opens one eye just long enough to notice. This guy is wearing a full suit under his school uniform. Now that's commitment to elegance. A girl slides into the seat next to class president Wang Shishi. What are you staring at? Lilan, obviously, Wang Shishi sighs dreamily. Even the way he side-eyes people is handsome. The girl goes quiet. I say this with love. It's never going to happen. Does that matter? Wang Shishi waves it off. When someone is that good looking, just watching from a distance is its own reward. A boy nearby can't help himself. What's so great about him? He's just a lazy. Besides, military training starts tomorrow. Let's see how long that laziness lasts. If not him, should we stare at you? The moment he says it, every eye in the room turns his way. Someone from a powerful clan, probably no talent, completely useless, and with those looks he could coast on his face alone. As for the other guy, actually never mind. Some things are better left unsaid. Silence falls like night. The boy realizes he's made a mistake and slinks back to his seat, but his words do get everyone thinking. Military training is coming. What's Lilan going to do? He can't keep this up, can he? Skipping out means disciplinary action, and the instructors are brutal. The show's about to start, someone snickers. Outside, Lu Yuya is already grinning. Lilan being forced through training, that is going to be profoundly inelegant. Wang Shishi goes starry-eyed. Lilan sweating through training, that's going to be so handsome. Military training is such a bother, Lilan thinks to himself, but he doesn't actually feel annoyed, because being annoyed takes effort too. The fire element is gleefully enjoying your misfortune, and has excitedly begun cultivating fire element energy. Bonus time active. The fire element is laughing at your situation, and has cheerfully resumed cultivation. Bonus time active. Lilan's eyelid twitches. He looks towards Sushin in the seat ahead. Sushin sighs helplessly. I'm sorry, young master. Your eldest brother says you have to participate. Is there any mercy left in this world? The fire element is overjoyed by your predicament and has fainted from excitement. Cultivation automatically halted. Day 1 of military training. Lilan refuses to get out of bed. No matter how much Sushin prods and pulls, nothing works. It's not unusual, but at least before he'd open his eyes for a second. With no other option, Sushin drags him bodily off the mattress and handles the brushing and washing himself. In the mirror, Sushin brushing his own teeth with focus, and Lilan beside him, face completely blank. Lilan spends a moment trying to think of a way out of training, then stops. Too exhausting to even plan. The fire element is laughing and has happily begun auto-cultivation. Fire element energy plus 15. The fire element is delighted by your misfortune and is cultivating with great enthusiasm. Fire element energy plus 20. Lilan says nothing. This fire element might genuinely have a problem. The fire element is deeply offended by your assessment and has begun cultivating furiously. Fire element energy plus 30. The fire element is tired. Cultivation halted. Your fire element sorcerer cultivation has risen to high rank early stage. Already? Lilan taunts. The fire element says, thank you. Now mind your own business. Lilan goes quiet. Getting smarter. The fire element looks at you proudly and has closed the communication channel. Face washed, teeth brushed. Sushin is about to hoist Lilan onto his shoulder when Lilan speaks. Sushin, is there any way to get out of military training? Young master, your eldest brother. Forget my brother, I'm asking you. Sushin blinks. Lilan has said more words this morning than usual. He recovers quickly. Young master, they'll be recording videos to send to your brother. Just get through today. I'll figure something out for the rest. A long pause. Just when Sushin thinks he's been turned down, Lilan nods. Fine. Sushin lights up. Then it's settled, young master. Sushin has a reputation in the clan for being cold and aloof. Right now he looks like an excited child. Lilan looks at him with mild disdain and nods again. If Sushin knew what Lilan was actually thinking, he'd have plenty to say in his own defense. He used to be genuinely cold, but that coldness has zero effect on Lilan. Dealing with Lilan is honestly more draining than cultivation. If his father hadn't told him that achieving great things requires hardship of the mind and strain on the body, he'd have quit long ago. Young master, do you want to climb on yourself, or shall I? Sushin bends down and pats his own shoulder. I'll walk, Lilan says flatly. Sushin is speechless. Do I really look that lazy? The two of them walk out of the dormitory side by side. The entire dormitory building stops and stares. It's been 8 days since school started. Lilan is walking on his own. Did something historic happen today? I checked the calendar. Nothing. You must have misread it. Check again. So he's not actually disabled. Truly moving. Lilan walks on his own 2 feet. That's the transfer student from your class? I always thought he was disabled. Same. Lu Yue brushes his teeth and watches in disbelief. How elegant. This is truly elegant. The dormitory warden stares wide-eyed at Lilan, feeling like he's witnessed a miracle. Is this really that big a deal? Lilan finds everyone's reactions baffling. He's just walking. In the classroom, the students of class 3 all turn to stare with matching looks of disbelief. Some pull out their phones for news. Some check the date, wondering if it's a national holiday. Even the way he walks is handsome. Wang Shishi is as starstruck as ever. Her best friend watches with a helpless expression. This girl is beyond saving. Lu Yuya removes his school jacket, carefully smooths the suit underneath. Today's version of me is also quite elegant. Are these people serious? Lilan feels less like he's at school and more like he's been admitted somewhere. Specifically, a psychiatric ward. Completely serious. Sushin understands the feeling. He's been with Lilan for 3 years. First time he's seen him talk this much, walk this much. The class watches as Lilan drops into his seat. And just when they think something earth-shattering is about to happen, he puts his head down and falls asleep. His nose itches. Whatever. He walked so far today. So tired. Sleep first. The fire element is deeply disgusted by your behavior and has begun auto-cultivation. Bonus time active. After Sushin feeds him breakfast, the instructors arrive. The homeroom teacher tells everyone to line up and head down to greet them. Lilan doesn't move. Young master, you don't want your brother finding out about your power talent, do you? Sushin says quietly. He's figured out how to handle Lilan. At least a little. The words hit like a switch. Lilan cuts him a sharp look. Bring the wheelchair. Young master, the wheelchair is back in the dorm. Should I just carry you? Lilan nods. Fine. Being carried for long periods had gotten uncomfortable enough that he once actually went to see a doctor. Recognizing the situation, Sushin quickly scoops Lilan up in a bridal carry. And so, in full view of everyone, this remarkable pair makes their entrance. Faces twist in confusion. Lu Yuya's voice rings out in the open, doing something like this. Profoundly inelegant. Wang Shishi looks like her heart has been cut in two. I feel like I just got dumped. Her best friend can't help it. Is there any chance he's just lazy? Wang Shishi snaps back to life. He must be. Even being carried looks handsome on him. Her best friend goes quiet. Too tired. Just let it burn. The noise around Lilan drifts into his ears, and he feels a faint flicker of embarrassment, but he doesn't really care. It's not like he has any bad intentions. He's just lazy. The fire element is furious. You lazy bum. I deserve a better master than this. Diligent cultivation of fire element energy initiated. +20. Hearing others talk about you. -31. Tuning out all distractions, focusing entirely on cultivation. Fire element energy. +60. The fire element has successfully grasped the nascent divine art. A nascent divine art, unexpected, but just barely. Lilan is not impressed. Power cultivation runs from low rank to mid rank to high rank, then divine art sorcerer, grand divine art sorcerer, and finally earthbound immortal. Grasping the nascent divine art means stepping onto the path of a divine art sorcerer, the elite of the human race. Still, as precious as a nascent divine art is, it's hardly rare by Lilan's standards. His clan practically has divine art sorcerers to spare, and all his siblings are grand divine art sorcerers. As for his grandfather, the Yan Emperor, terrifying doesn't cover it. One of the most powerful earthbound immortals alive. But within Xiangnan First High, Lilan would rank as quite exceptional. The strongest power user in the school, the principal himself, is only at the divine art sorcerer level. Many teachers don't even clear that bar. Hearing your evaluation, the fire element is very hurt and has begun sobbing loudly. Channeling grief into strength, cultivating with renewed determination. Fire element energy +30. Am I being too harsh? Lilan scratches his nose, considers saying something kind, and decides against it. A few minutes later, unable to bear the noise any longer, Lilan speaks. You don't need to sell yourself short. Yes, you're pretty weak, but reaching the nascent divine art in just over a week? That's actually impressive. The fire element cries harder. Channeling grief into strength. Cultivation resumed. Fire element energy +35. Lilan goes quiet. Great, I tried. He's not listening. Nothing I can do. Lilan falls into a deep sleep. Sushin holds him through the entire ceremony. The principal's speech, the head instructor's speech, the instructor's remarks, until military training officially begins. When Lilan opens his eyes, he finds himself looking at the instructor assigned to his class. A woman, sharp in her military uniform, with warm tan skin that gives her an air of fierce confidence. She looks at Lilan in Sushin's arms and frowns. Why does your class have a disabled student? Didn't your homeroom teacher inform you? Disabled students are exempt from military training. Here, let me take him. You go train. The instructor kindly reaches over and lifts Lilan out of Sushin's arms. Sushin reaches to take him back, then catches Lilan's eyes and goes still. He lowers his hand. Several students burst out laughing. The instructor raises her voice. What's so funny? This is military training and helping those in need is a virtue of our dragon nation. What exactly is funny? But her scolding doesn't land. More than a few people laugh harder, just as she's about to tear into them. A student steps forward. Instructor, Lilan isn't actually disabled. Who is Lilan? The student points. The instructor's face goes pale, and Lilan slips right out of her arms. Sushin lunges forward and catches him. The commotion wakes Lilan up. The instructor turns on Sushin, furious. Put him down. Sushin obeys. The instructor glares at Lilan. Why did you deceive me? Lilan doesn't really want to talk, but instructor, I never said I was disabled. You decided to carry me. Then why at your age do you need to be carried? Because I'm lazy. The instructor's temper snaps. Go run 30 laps, now. Lilan doesn't move. He fixes her with his trademark dead fish stare. Why aren't you running? She demands. Lilan looks at her like she's asked the most obvious question in the world. Because I'm lazy. The instructor staggers, nearly falls. Sushin steps forward. Instructor, I was the one carrying him. I'll run in his place. Instructor Hao laughs despite herself, then barks. Fine. Since you volunteered, double it. 60 laps, not one less. Sushin doesn't argue. He heads straight for the track. The instructor turns to Lilan. You, stand over there and count his laps. Lilan doesn't react as though he heard nothing. Why aren't you moving? Because I'm lazy, Lilan says, barely audible. The instructor puts a hand to her chest. She has met her match. Military training builds willpower. It forges the strength to endure hardship and push through exhaustion. It builds a sense of unity. Look at your classmates. Every one of them is out here training. You're the only one who won't. Don't you feel ashamed? Not really, Lilan says without a shred of energy. Honestly, I'd love to train. Then why won't you? Because I'm lazy. The entire class bursts out laughing. The instructor's insides hurt. She grits her teeth. Fine, you don't have to train if you can beat me in a fight. And just like that, the dead fish stare clears. Lilan's eyes sharpen. Sure, no problem. problem. This instructor looks to be around high-rank sorcerer level. He's the same rank, only early stage, but he's grasped the nascent divine art. With a bit of effort, this should be winnable. His father said he had to participate, but if the instructor herself says he's exempt, his father can't really object. That counts as a different situation entirely. You're serious? The instructor looks at him, the lazy boy in front of her. She has to admit, now that his eyes are focused, he's remarkably good looking. Of course. Leland nods. I'm high rank, just so you know. You're sure about this? This time Leland says nothing. He just looks at her, steady and still. The instructor doesn't dare ask why he's gone silent. She's terrified of hearing those 4 words again. Because I'm lazy. Overconfident kid. Since you want to try, don't expect me to go easy on you. Fair warning. If I win, you follow my orders without question for the entire month of training. This time Leland can't even be bothered to nod. Do you know somewhere open? Leland points to the open ground behind the main building. The two of them walk off together. Class 3 watches them go, exchanging bewildered looks. Where are they going? I heard Leland challenge the instructor? Same. The class treats it like the punchline of a joke. That's impossible. You must have heard wrong. He's too lazy. He probably hasn't even bothered to awaken his power. The ones who actually heard it feel a bit wronged. They were telling the truth. Behind the main building, weeds grow thick and the space is empty. Instructor Hao's brow creases slightly. You can still go back and join training. It's not too late. Leland lets out a slow sigh, already tired. Let's just start. Don't say I didn't warn you. The instructor lets out a sharp cry and sweeps a leg at him. Though she seems to hold back, her movements a touch too gentle. Leland stretches lazily, an odd motion, then steps back just enough to let it pass. Lazy as he is, Leland is no pushover. The Li clan is one of the top families in the entire federation, filled with expert fighters. Growing up surrounded by them, Leland has absorbed more than a few combat techniques without even trying. I didn't expect you to actually know how to fight. In that case, no more holding back. The instructor recovers her composure and drives forward in one fluid step, a powerful punch flying at him. Wind churns around her fist as it moves, sending dead leaves swirling off the ground. A wind element user. Flames erupt along Leland's arm. He raises his hand and catches her fist, absorbing the force without effort. High-rank sorcerer? That's impossible. How old are you? Her eyes go wide. Leland actually smiles. Rare for him. Instructor, talking this much mid-fight isn't a great habit. Her expression shifts. She drops into a strange stance, both hands forming an unusual form, and a swarm of leaves tears off the ground, sharpening into a dense volley of flying blades aimed straight at Leland. An elemental attack. Leland straightens up slightly. The flames in his hand burn hotter. Just as the leaves close in on him, Leland throws a punch. Rock burst. A detonation of fire. A deep boom. Every single leaf is incinerated in an instant, reduced to ash. A nascent divine art. What? While the instructor is still reeling, Leland moves through the cloud of ash and appears at her side, his fist resting beside her head. Instructor, he says, thoroughly unbothered. You lost. A promise is a promise. I actually lost. The instructor stares at him, stunned beyond words. Who are you? You've awakened. A nascent divine art? Leland says nothing. He brushes the ash off his clothes and strolls lazily back toward the class. Instructor Hao removes her cap, smooths her hair, and walks back to join the class. For the next month, she announces, sweeping a look across the class, Leland is excused from military training. The class is confused, but no one pushes back. Leland has powerful connections. He even has a personal companion just for studying. Getting out of military training is probably nothing for someone like him, and honestly, he's so lethargic every day. Clearly something's off with his health. No surprise he's exempt. As for Leland actually beating the instructor to earn his exemption, that thought doesn't even cross their minds. In their eyes, Leland is just a regular kid with no talent. Where would he get the strength to beat an instructor? That assessment of regular only applies when you leave out his background, of course. The instructor looks at Leland. You're off the hook for training, but you stay on school grounds. This field. The whole time, Leland says nothing, because Leland has fallen asleep standing up. The fire element is furious at your laziness and has begun auto-cultivation. Fire element energy plus 15. He's even snoring. The instructor goes silent. The entire class goes silent. Sushin returns from his lapse, hears the news, and blinks. He straightens Leland's body, films a few passable videos from behind, then joins the rest of the class in training. Elsewhere, in a luxury villa in Longjin, a middle-aged man with a full head of red hair opens his phone. Playing on the screen is the video of Leland standing. He watches it, then bursts out laughing. Xiaolan, this kid has finally shaped up, though why does his standing posture look a little off? Almost like he's asleep. No, that can't be right. First day of military training. He's not used to the stance yet. A little stiffness is normal. Leland's father reassures himself, but sleeping upright for too long gets uncomfortable. Eventually, Leland just lies down on the ground. Still not comfortable. He starts rolling, back and forth, side to side. He rolls until he wedges himself into a narrow, dry drainage channel and can't roll any further. Then he settles. The tight, enclosed space wraps around him like a cocoon. He feels perfectly safe. This is actually pretty good, he mumbles, already drifting off. The snoring resumes. The fire element is mortified by your behavior and has begun frantic cultivation. Fire element energy plus 50. Time passes quickly. 5 hours later, midday arrives. Sushin collects lunch from the cafeteria and heads back to feed Leland, only to find him gone. Sweat breaks out across Sushin's forehead. He sets down the food and searches, but finds nothing. Not on the on the field, not in the classroom, not even in the dorm. A terrible thought rises in Sushin's mind. Young master, what if he was taken, kidnapped by a cultivator from one of the other clans? If a rival clan took him as leverage against the Lee family would come for him, and that could spark an all-out war between the races. I have to stop this. Sushin runs to find the homeroom teacher. The homeroom teacher goes to the principal. The principal goes pale. Everything is over. The Lee family will have him killed. Wait, is there still a way out? The principal turns to Sushin. How long has he been missing? I just came back from the cafeteria and he was gone. The principal thinks hard. Outsiders almost never enter the school, except during meal prep, when kitchen staff come in from outside. Someone must have slipped in during that window and taken him. Yes, that has to be it. He calls the security station immediately. Lock down every exit right now. No one leaves. Find Li Lan, whatever it takes. And so a full school-wide search involving over 1,000 people begins. Li Lan, where are you? Young master, Li Lan. By evening, Li Lan is still nowhere to be found. The entire school has been searched. So has the area outside. Not a trace. All color has drained from the principal's face. It's over. Everything is over. He takes out his phone, opens the notes app, and begins typing his farewell letter, one word at a time. Sushin sits on the ground, face blank, a hollow feeling in his chest. Instructor Hao is in tears. It's all my fault. If I had just kept an eye on him, none of this would have happened. The fire element is growing tired. Cultivation speed is slowing. Fire element energy plus 15. The fire element is deeply disgusted by the fact that you are sleeping in a drainage ditch. Even cultivation is suffering. Fire element energy plus 10. The fire element is exhausted for the day. Cultivation halted. The nascent divine art has been steadily refined by the fire element. Current progress, minor completion. Li Lan tries to stretch and finds he can barely move. He opens his eyes. He is lying inside a narrow rainwater channel. The sky is edging toward dusk. Fortunately, the channel is reasonably clean. Li Lan brushes himself off and climbs out. His stomach growls. Why hasn't Sushin come to feed him? Li Lan mutters to himself, following the mental map in his head out of the field. He rounds a corner and finds Sushin huddled in a small corner, curled up like an abandoned animal, eyes red, arms wrapped around his knees, staring at Li Lan like he can't believe what he's seeing. Not far behind Sushin is the school gate, where a crowd is gathered. Teachers, homeroom teachers, instructors, and the principal himself. Their faces are grim. Some look downright terrified, as if something catastrophic has happened. Li Lan can't be bothered with any of that. He heads straight for Sushin. Sushin, what's wrong? Young master, where were you? Sushin leaps up and grabs him. Are you hurt? He looks Li Lan up and down, just a bit dirty. Sushin exhales shakily. Did you cry? Li Lan stares at him. Sushin's expression stiffens. Who cried? It was windy. Got some dust in my eyes, he says flatly. His face goes cold again. Why aren't you dead? If you were dead, I could go back to the clan and actually train. You were worried about me. Get lost. The principal spots Li Lan and bursts into tears of relief. He rushes over and wraps Li Lan in a hug. Li Lan, you're safe, thank goodness. I was already writing my farewell letter. Li Lan pushes him away with obvious distaste. The students all break into smiles. With the commotion over, Li Lan slips right back into his old routine. When there's nothing to do, he sleeps in the wheelchair. When he wakes up, Sushin feeds him, and then he sleeps again. But after the incident, Sushin and the principal keep a much closer watch on him, even assigning a dedicated security guard to follow him everywhere. Every time Li Lan wakes up, there's a face outside the window. The guard has an expressionless, stone-cold face, the kind that belongs in a crime syndicate, but Li Lan eventually gets used to it. Time moves quickly. A month later, military training ends. Students flood toward the school gate, many in tears. Some have written handwritten letters asking the instructors to open them only once they're back at base. Li Lan joins the crowd to see them off, raising a hand in farewell to Instructor Hao. Instructor Hao was in good spirits until she sees Li Lan, and a dull ache returns to her chest. She forces a smile. The instructors leave, regular classes resume, and Li Lan goes back to sleep. The fire element is furious at your laziness and has begun auto-cultivation. Fire element energy plus 15. The fire element is thoroughly disgusted by your laziness and has resumed auto-cultivation. Fire element energy plus 15. Knowing its master is hopeless, the fire element cultivates with even greater focus. Fire element energy plus 35. The fire element is tired. Cultivation halted. Your fire element sorcerer cultivation has risen to high rank mid-stage. Over a month and only mid-stage, fire element, you're going backwards. Li Lan rubs his eyes and goes back to sleep. Another half-month passes. The principal calls the entire year group to the assembly hall with an announcement. Li Lan rolls in on his wheelchair, barely through the door, when the principal's booming voice fills the hall. Students, this chapter of your academic life is coming to a close. I've gathered you all here today to share something important. Yesterday, on your behalf, I submitted a formal request to the military for access to a secret realm. They approved it. The hall erupts. A secret realm? I've never even seen one. I can't wait. But aren't secret realms dangerous? We're not going to die in there, are we? Surprise, excitement, fear, the voices all blur together. The principal smiles at the concern in the room. There's nothing to be afraid of. The secret realm you'll be entering is unranked. There's virtually no danger. Even a basic level of sorcerer cultivation is more than enough to get through it. With a bit of luck, you might even come away with rewards. At that, the students cheer, but more than a few glance over at Li Lan with concern. Then they spot Sushin standing behind him, and one by one, they relax. Sushin's cultivation is already approaching teacher level. With him there, Li Lan will be fine. Wang Shishi steps forward and claps Sushin on the shoulder. Sushin, my hero is in your hands. Sushin glances at Li Lan and nods. Li Lan's eyelid barely moves. Since when am I your hero? Li Lan's eyelid twitches. He goes back to sleep. The fire element is ashamed of your laziness and has begun auto-cultivation. Fire element development energy plus 15. The principal continues from the podium. Students, joining us in the secret realm this time will be students from second high. Make sure you perform well in there. Don't embarrass this school. Also, this secret realm trial is a closed trial. It runs for 3 days. We depart tonight. Head back to your dorms shortly and pack your things. Secret realms have 5 ranked tiers, 1 star through 5 star. Anything below the ranked tiers is unranked. Anything above 5 star falls into the beyond 5 star category. 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star secret realms are designed for low rank, mid rank, and high rank ESPers. But even a low rank sorcerer entering a 1 star realm isn't guaranteed to walk out alive. A secret realm is, by nature, a place where death waits. The 1 star rating simply means it's relatively safe. Large scale casualties aren't expected. As for 4 star and 5 star realms, those belong to divine art sorcerers. Some 5 star realms are so dangerous that even an earthbound immortal has a solid chance of dying inside. Take the Bone Throne realm deep in the western Grand Canyon beyond the Federation. Even the mighty Yechuli nearly met her end there. Only a powerful treasure saved her, letting her shatter the spatial barrier and break free. Any secret realm means risk. That's why the Federation controls almost every secret realm through the military. Only a handful are held by major private powers. Entry requires a formal application and official approval. Take today's destination, the Yi-Mu Spirit Realm. It's managed directly by the Xiangnan City military. That evening, Su Xin wheels Li Lan onto the coach, and they set off toward the military base. On the bus, Principal Du hands every student a briefing sheet. It's packed with details. Realm name, Yi-Mu Spirit Realm. Rank, unranked. Description, ultra low risk. Basic completion, survive 3 days inside. After 3 days, you're automatically teleported out and counted as a winner. Winners receive a boost of realm energy to strengthen their Esper cultivation. Advanced completion, kill 300 wood sprites to win automatically. Winners receive wood spirit essence. Wood type ESPers can consume it to raise their cultivation. Other type ESPers may apply to the military to exchange it for a matching essence, such as a flame spirit essence. Elite completion, climb to the crown of the great Yimu tree and slay the Yimu Demon King. Winners receive Yimu Spirit Essence. Not recommended for late low-rank ESPers or below. Young master, want to come with me to hunt the Yimu Demon King? Su Xin asks, looking up from the sheet. Li Lan has his eyes shut, fast asleep. He says nothing, but every pore on his face screams no. Su Xin already knows it's pointless to push. Getting Li Lan to cooperate at all, to even show up, is a miracle in itself. Expecting him to hunt the Yimu Demon King together? Pure fantasy. Then just watch from the sidelines while I take it down, Su Xin says. Li Lan's eyelid twitches. Close enough to a yes. When they arrive at the military base, the students from Xiangnan first high pile off the bus under the teacher's direction. To everyone's surprise, the ones waiting to receive them are the very same instructors from last month's training camp. Instructor! Instructor! We missed you so much! The noise pulls Li Lan out of his daze. He spots Instructor Hao smiling and giving a wave in his direction. Instructor Hao's hand flies to her chest as the memory of being outfought by Li Lan comes rushing back. Just then, a commotion breaks out nearby. Everyone turns to look. 2 groups of students are in each other's faces, and it's turning physical. Who do you Xiangnan's second high punks think you are, messing with our people? Who touched you? Your guy spat on us first. Proof? Where's your proof? You've got nothing. Typical second high. Shameless. Shameless? Look in a mirror. First high is the shameless one. You hoard the best resources, and we still match you at every competition. Just wait till we're inside the realm. I'll destroy you. We'll see about that. And just so you know, second high has 2 mid-rank, mid-stage sorcerers. Fortunately, the instructors arrived just in time to break it up. What is going on? Did everything we drilled into you last month just vanish? Fighting on military grounds? All of you. Track, 50 laps, right now, move. The second high troublemakers shoot a parting glare at the first high students, and their eyes land on Li Lan, lounging off to the side like it's a show. One of them can't help himself. Why does first high have a filthy cripple? Is this a school for the disabled? The words land like a slap, but before anyone can react, Su Xin appears in front of the boy and drives a fist straight into his face. The second high student explodes with rage and swings back. Su Xin hits him again, this time with fire behind the punch, and blood pours from his nose. What are you doing? An instructor charges over. The second high student, nose bleeding and eyes watering, yells out, "Instructor, he hit me!" The instructor turns to Su Xin. "Did you hit him?" Su Xin gives a calm nod. "He insulted my young master first." The instructor glances at Li Lan, then turns a cold stare on the second high student. "How dare you insult someone with a disability? Didn't anyone at your school teach you basic decency?" The second high student lowers his head, bracing for the lecture. Then Su Xin speaks up quietly. "My young master isn't disabled. Then why is he in a wheelchair?" Because he's lazy." Su Xin forces the words out. After dinner, the instructors lead the students toward the realm entrance, one group at a time. The secret realm hangs in the open air like a green void. Mysterious particles swirl around its edges, and the interior glows a deep, vivid emerald. Walk around to the back and it simply disappears. It only exists when viewed from the front. Soldiers armed with rifles stand at rigid attention around the perimeter, every one of them a mid-rank sorcerer. "Let's move," the lead instructor says. An instructor spots Li Lan in his wheelchair and frowns, turning to a middle-aged woman in military uniform nearby. "Commander, is it all right?" The commander waves it off. "Don't worry about him. The realm is safe enough. Even a genuinely disabled person would be fine in there, and he's perfectly healthy." The commander says this casually, a file folder in hand, but inside, she's reeling. This lazy kid in a wheelchair is from the Li clan of the Yan Emperor, the direct bloodline, a true young master of the Li family. Bizarre. With all of the Li clan's power, they could have sent sent him to any of the 5 great academies without blinking. Why settle for first high? Commander, you alright? Fine. She quickly tucks the file away. A rift opens in the Yimu spirit realm, and students pour through one after another. At the same moment, on the far side of the realm, a black rift tears open from nothing. Figures in red robes step through, their faces marked with eerie skull tattoos. Black skull rings gleam on their thumbs as these mysterious strangers materialize inside the realm. Just as our late master predicted, by channeling the chalice's power through the spatial distortion of a realm opening, we can force our way into even an unranked realm. Enough talk, we move now. The sanctum has been destroyed by the authorities. We need more blood to resurrect the faith. Then let this realm descend into madness. Only those who survive to the end are worthy of becoming seeds of our faith. Leland feels the world go dark for a moment. Then suddenly, everything opens up. He takes in his surroundings. An entirely new world stretches before him. Vast and green, wild grass everywhere, lush with dense plant life. Behind them lies endless darkness. Leland reaches out to touch it. He can't pass through. This must be the spatial barrier he read about. Only a powerful artifact or overwhelming force can break through it. Straight ahead, at the heart of this world, stands the great Yimu tree. So tall it seems to pierce the sky. Its lower half is swallowed by thick mist, hiding whatever lurks within. Its upper half spreads massive branches, and on every branch, enormous vines sway slowly, as if breathing. If he's read the briefing right, those must be the Yimu spirit creatures. Kill 3 of them and the elite trial is complete. Whether to leave after 3 kills or stay longer, that's up to whoever's doing the killing. Leland doesn't bother thinking about it. He closes his eyes and drifts off. Young master, you really won't come with me? Sushin asks. Leland lets out a lazy chuckle. What, you want to carry me up the tree? I can't climb a tree while carrying you. Sushin sighs. Stay safe, young master. I'll be back soon. Relax, your young master is more capable than you think. Leland waves him off. He watches Sushin leave with reluctant steps, then settles down and falls peacefully asleep. Well, we meet again, filthy cripple. A sharp mocking laugh cuts into Leland's ear a few minutes later. Leland doesn't even bother opening his eyes. And you don't remember me? Back at the base, your friend beat the living daylights out of me. So you're here for revenge? Obviously. Then you can leave. The moment Leland finishes speaking, roaring flames erupt at the boy's feet, scorching every thread of clothing and every hair clean off. A high-rank sorcerer. How does first high have someone like this? The second high boy goes pale as ash. Dignity forgotten. He bolts. Leland hears screams from nearby girls. Guess I should be a little more considerate next time, he mutters. But a moment later, the screaming doesn't stop. Leland senses something's wrong. He opens his eyes. A crowd of students is sprinting straight toward him. Behind them swarms a mass of vine creatures, shaped almost exactly like the wood sprites from the briefing. But the ones in the briefing were green, like gentle nature spirits. These are sickly yellow, like withered dying vines. Something is very wrong. One student gets tangled in the vines. They coil around him in an instant, tendrils driving into his flesh, shredding him apart in seconds. Help! Someone help me, he screams. But everyone around him is running for their lives. No one stops. Leland has never seen anything this horrifying. Fear stirs in his chest, but something deeper burns hotter. The blood of a hero runs in his veins. Without another thought, he charges forward. He seizes the wood sprite and channels his fire element, burning it to nothing. Wisp of green energy seeps into his body. Leland feels a faint but real boost through his entire body. So this is what they call wood spirit essence. Ding dong. Wood element energy detected in host. The wood element ability has happily awakened. The wave of wood sprites behind him surges forward, relentless. Leland ignores the system. He throws a single punch. Flame burst. A thunderous boom. A wall of fire, and a scorching shockwave tears through the swarm. 5 or 6 wood sprites drop dead on the spot. They burn bright, fuel for the blast. The remaining sprites sense the heat and scatter, fleeing back toward the great Yimu tree. Are you okay? Leland reaches down to help the student up, and finds him completely still. Hey. Leland presses a hand to his chest. The heart has stopped. Gone. Damn it. Leland grabs a fistful of his own hair, furious at himself for being too slow. Lu Xuan, are you okay? The students who fled begin trickling back, and when they see the body on the ground, every face goes white. Lu Xuan is dead. A boy steps forward and extends his hand. Hi, I'm Wang Chu from Second High. Thank you for driving those things off. His face is pale, cold sweat on his brow. The terror of what just happened still hasn't left him. Leland shakes his hand. Do you know what's going on in there? Leland? I don't think First High has a talent by that name. Wang Chu shakes his head. We had barely stepped into the mist zone when these things attacked. Others chime in. Are these even wood sprites? They look nothing like what was in the briefing. They said there was no risk. I wanted to go home. Mom, what do I do? 3 days in this place? I'm going to die here. As the words tumble out, someone starts crying. The weight of it all presses down on everyone, suffocating. Leland, what do we do? Every pair of eyes turns to him. To them, Leland is the only thing standing between them and death. They don't even know him, but somehow, just having him here makes the fear a little easier to bear. I'm going into the mist zone. Sushin is in there. I have to check on him. Many hesitate. After the nightmare they just lived through, the mist zone is the last place they want to go. Wang Chu steps forward, his expression resolute. Leland, I'm with you. My sister is still in there. I have to go. Leland nods and looks to the others. I'll go. Us too. I'll wait here. The mist zone is too dangerous. Some step up, others step back. Leland has nothing to say about either choice. A quick count. 4 people are coming with him into the mist. No time to waste. Let's move. Stay behind me. Watch your surroundings carefully. Anything moves, tell me immediately. The contents of that survival guide he half read about secret realm emergencies flicker through his mind. Everyone nods solemnly. Together, they step into the mist. Rustling sounds close in from all sides. Wood sprites lunge out of the mist. Leland dispatches 3 of them with his fire element like it costs him nothing. The other 2 are taken down by the group behind him, working together. Seeing you work so hard, the fire element sighs in admiration at the younger generation and gets so distracted gifted it barely trains. Fire element energy +1. Watching its master dominate, the wood element happily gets to work. Wood element energy +3. Pair of dead weights, Leland mutters. He picks up 5 sticks from the ground, wraps the vines from the dead wood sprites around each one, and lights them up. 5 torches ready to go. Take these. Wood sprites hate fire. These will hurt them plenty. Got it, thank you. Grateful murmurs all around. Suddenly, Wang Chu snaps his torch upward. A wood sprite drops from directly above them. What a read. Nice work, Leland says, genuinely impressed. Wang Chu picks up his torch and rubs the back of his neck. It was nothing, just my perception power doing its job. Perception power? A spirit type ability? Leland says. That's a powerful gift, especially in a place like this. Wang Chu grins, showing a pair of small sharp canines. More wood sprites surge forward. Leland drops them in a single move. Someone's, here, we're saved. Desperate cries echo through the mist from every direction. Leland raises his voice. All first high and second high students, rally to me. The students behind him raise their torches high, cutting through the mist like beacons. More and more students converge, their faces lighting up with desperate relief. Some of them are even Leland's own classmates. Leland, it's actually you. Have any of you seen Sushin? Leland asks. No idea. We were following the class president, but we got separated the moment we entered the mist. Then these mutated wood sprites found us. A lot of our classmates didn't make it. A girl says this with a face still frozen in fear. Leland tilts his head back toward the crown of the great emu tree. He'd better not have gone up already. Please let him be okay. Honestly, Leland just wants to sleep right now. In all his years since crossing over, he has never been this tired, but he can't sleep. Not yet. He forces himself alert and pushes deeper into the mist, pulling out more students one group at a time. This kind of thing, saving people, is not something he would choose. But his grandfather's words come back to him. Even the weakest and most unreasonable must be sheltered by those with the power to do so. The Li clan's power, its standing, its honor, all of it was given by the human race. As a member of that clan, he must protect that honor. He can be lazy, but right now is not the time for it. Deeper and deeper they go. More and more wood sprites fall. Finally, they reach the base of the great emu tree. Leland has everyone pile the dead wood sprites into a heap. He lights them. The fire catches fast. Sparks fly. Flames climb higher and higher, roaring several meters into the air. The blaze drives back the encroaching wood sprites, and even begins to eat through the mist hanging in the air. Yes, the mist is clearing. Relieved voices break out around him. Leland looks up at the tree. Just as he's about to climb, a black shape plummets straight down from above. A mysterious figure in a flowing red robe. It lands smoothly in front of Leland, and what passes for a face is horrifying. Dried corpse-like skin, no eyes at all, only hollow sockets with maggots writhing inside. Its voice grates out like a chewed-through windpipe, hoarse and rasping. You little wretch. You dare interfere with Black Coffin's work? Then you'll be the first. Become our seed. A wave of pure malice rolls off the figure. Leland's body tenses. The students around him go rigid with fear. Some grab weapons, ready to fight alongside Leland. Leland, we're with you. You've protected us this whole time. Now it's our turn. Get to cover. Now, Leland shouts. This one is at least a high-rank sorcerer, and there's a chance it has a nascent divine art. The energy radiating off the figure makes that much clear. Definitely high rank. As for the nascent divine art, he can feel it. A familiar resonance like something echoing back at him. More precisely, it matches the same energy signature as his own nascent divine art. Flame burst. There's not a single other high-rank sorcerer in this group. If anyone else tries to fight this thing, they won't last long. They'll be the last one standing. That kind of sacrifice would be meaningless. Avoid it if you can. What? A collective cry, and every student drops their weapon and runs. A chilling laugh seeps out of the figure. One claw-like hand reaches for Leland. Not bad boy. Sharp eyes. But you guessed wrong. What I possess is not a nascent divine art. It's a true divine art. A purple unholy flame ignites on that withered hand, pulsing with an energy that makes Leland's stomach turn. A divine art sorcerer. Aren't they banned from entering secret realms? No time to think. Leland channels every bit of his fire element energy and meets that purple flame head on. Flame burst. The impact thunders through the air. A mid-stage high-rank fire element sorcerer. The figure staggers. Really? Leland's flame burst connects, sending it flying backward. Leland blinks. A being that claimed to wield a true divine art. If the figure could hear that thought, it would weep. It is a true divine art sorcerer, but the body it's inhabiting has barely reached the high-rank threshold. It had assumed that using a high-rank sorcerer's body would give it absolute dominance in an unranked realm. It never expected to run into a freak like Leland. Leland approaches. The figure is dead. More precisely, it had been dead for a long time. This is not what a fresh corpse looks like. Maggots cover every inch of the body. The stench is overwhelming. Leland had half a mind to loot the body, but now he can't even bring himself to look at it. He prods at it with a stick, checking all over. Nothing valuable. He lights it up with his fire element and burns it clean. Leland, you just killed a high-rank sorcerer. Wang Chu steps forward, stunned. A moment ago, he was certain they were all going to die at that thing's hands. The other students look no less shocked. Most of them are low-rank sorcerers. To them, a high-rank sorcerer is practically a legend, and yet that legend just dropped cleanly at the hands of someone their own age. They knew Leland was capable, but not this capable. A high-rank sorcerer is nothing special, Leland says carelessly. I'm one too. Eyes go wide all around. Even those who suspected it are stunned to hear him say it plainly. A high-rank sorcerer, the same age as them. It's like finding a phoenix in a sparrow's nest. Every one of them is instantly overshadowed, including the ones who considered themselves talented. Lan, did you also awaken a nascent divine art? Wang Chu asks, eyes bright with hope. Leland nods. Could you teach me? Stars light up in Wang Chu's eyes. The others lean in, just as eager. eager. Li-Lan scratches his head. Honestly, I don't know how to teach it. I just woke up one day and it was there. Is it hard to awaken? Probably, kind of. Several students look like they want to cry. They are now seriously questioning whether they have any talent at all. And as expected, the Yimu spirits have mutated too. After finishing off the mysterious figure, Li-Lan begins climbing the great Yimu tree. He takes down one Yimu spirit with ease, but his expression is heavy. Please let Sushin be alright. He wants nothing more than to sleep right now, but he can't. He keeps climbing, and catches the faint sound of crying drifting down from somewhere above. No, don't kill me, please. This is so undignified. Let me out of this horrible place. Dear heavens, I don't want to die. I still have so much elegance left to live. That voice, it's Lu Yaya. Li-Lan follows the sound, vaulting over a massive branch, and circling around until he spots a hollow in the trunk, just big enough. Inside, a boy in a full suit is trembling violently. This is so undignified. When I get out, I'm filing complaints. The Education Bureau, the Military Discipline Committee, all of them. Liu Yaya, just as expected. Li-Lan can't help but laugh. He taps him on the shoulder. Class officer, have you seen the class president or Sushin? Liu Yaya freezes, then bursts into tears of pure relief. Li-Lan, what are you doing here? I'm here to get people out. Li-Lan gives him a quick rundown of what's happened. Liu Yaya is speechless. You're a high-rank sorcerer? You hid that incredibly well. I'll come with you to find the class president, but you have to protect me, and don't breathe a word about what just happened here. Liu Yaya wipes his tears, then carefully dusts off his suit jacket. Then, incredibly, he pulls a small bag and a mirror from somewhere on his person and starts fixing himself up. Li-Lan nods, caught between amusement and disbelief. The two of them climb higher. Before long, they find class president Wang Shishi, also hiding in a tree hollow, but there's a Yimu spirit right beside her. They take it down and pull Wang Shishi to safety. The moment she learns what Li-Lan is capable of, Wang Shishi goes completely blank. Then she launches herself at him. My idol! My idol! Have you seen Sushin? Li-Lan asks. Sushin? Wang Shishi shakes her head. I did spot him when I first started climbing though. He should be higher up by now. That guy. What's he doing climbing so high? I'm going up to find Sushin, Li-Lan says. Coming? Wang Shishi lights up like a lantern. Yes, absolutely yes! Li-Lan says nothing. Liu Yaya smirks. Class president, that was deeply undignified. What greets him is Wang Shishi's fist. She pulls it back and smiles sweetly. Elegant enough for you? Very. Extremely elegant. He clears his throat. Let's climb. Both nod. A few minutes later, Li-Lan dispatches another Yimu spirit without breaking a sweat. A strand of Yimu spirit essence flows into his body. At the same moment, a message arrives from the realm itself. You have successfully slain 3 Yimu spirits and completed the elite trial. Do you wish to leave the secret realm? Li-Lan rejects it without hesitation. He keeps climbing. Before long, they come across 2 more people. A boy and a girl, both mid-stage, mid-rank sorcerers. Li-Lan doesn't recognize either of them. Second high, most likely. They're locked in a fierce fight with 4 Yimu spirits and holding their ground. Mid-rank. Mid-stage at their age? That's insane, Liu Yaya says, eyes wide. Wang Shishi waves a hand. What's so impressive? Li-Lan is 100 times stronger than both of them. Fair point, Liu Yaya agrees with a vigorous nod. Let's help them out, Li-Lan says. I can ask if they've seen Sushin while we're at it. And maybe they've seen those top students from First High Class 1. The 3 of them activate their powers and charge in. Li-Lan's is fire, Wang Shishi's is wind, Liu Yaya's is ice. 3 completely different types, but with Li-Lan in the mix, the other 2 barely get a chance to do anything. They watch him throw a single punch. Fire explodes outward with a roar, flame burst, and all 4 Yimu spirits are half dead before they can blink. The second high pair mops up the rest with ease. They turn to Li-Lan with wide, startled eyes. Is that a nascent divine art? You're from First High? Li-Lan nods. Liu Yaya sighs with unmistakable envy. Li-Lan, that was so undignified of you. I hadn't even raised a hand and you'd already incinerated everything. Wang Shishi gives him a withering look. Oh sure, like you would have done any better. She turns to the second high pair. Hi, we're from First High. I'm Wang Shishi. This is Liu Yaya. And this, she says, her eyes shining, is my idol Li-Lan. Stars practically sparkle in her eyes. Liu Yaya stares at her with pure disdain. He pulls out his mirror and carefully styles his hair to match Li-Lan's. Hello, we're from Second High. The second high girl smiles. I'm Wang Miao. This is my classmate Shu Hu. You're Wang Chu's sister? Li-Lan says. You know my brother? Wang Miao's expression shifts instantly. Is he okay? He's fine. Actually, he's looking for you right now. Wang Miao exhales with visible relief. Do you want to head down with us? It's getting too dangerous up here. Li-Lan considers it. Can you two take them down? I still have something to handle up here. I'm not leaving yet. I'm going with you to find Sushin, Wang Shishi says immediately. Abandoning a friend is deeply undignified, Liu Yaya adds. Li-Lan sighs. Keeping up with me up there won't be possible for you. The higher we go, the more dangerous it gets. I might not be able to protect you, so you're not worried about us? You just think we'd slow you down? Wang Shishi's face falls slightly, but she knows he's right. She thinks for a moment, then says quietly, then please stay safe. Li-Lan nods. He turns to Wang Miao. By the way, have you seen someone a bit taller than me? Expressionless face, wearing a watch about my age, cultivation around early mid-rank? Wang Miao thinks for a moment. I think I have. Fast mover. His cultivation is lower than ours, but his actual strength is higher. He should be further up. That description, it fits Sushin perfectly. She places him quickly. Thank you, Li-Lan says and keeps climbing. Stay safe, Wang Shishi calls after him. Wang Miao turns to Shu Hu. Let's head down, but Shu Hu doesn't respond. He's been standing perfectly still for a while now. Shu Hu, what's wrong? Wang Miao pokes his shoulder, and he crumples straight to the ground, as if his legs have given out. Wang Shishi and Liu Yaya stumble back in alarm. Wang Miao rushes to help him up. Shu Hu, Shu-Hu, are you alright? He blinks. Yeah, let's go down, he says. What just happened? I barely touched you and you collapsed. Wang Miao stares at him, baffled. Shu-Hu looks confused. I fell? Do you know who helped me up? What do you mean? We just finished fighting the Yimu spirits and you said we should go down. Shu-Hu suddenly turns to Wang Shishi and Liu Yaya with a blank, startled look. Who are you two? When did you get here? Back outside the realm, at the military base, the commander receives an urgent encrypted message from High Command. She reads it. Her face goes dark. She runs out immediately. Get everyone together, now. We're forcing the realm open and pulling those students out. Why, Commander? Someone asks, confused. Forcing a realm open has an enormous cost. Stop talking and move. I just received word from Command. Black Coffin remnants have infiltrated multiple unranked secret realms, and they're slaughtering students inside. I believe the Yimu realm has been compromised too. What? The officers scramble. Weapons are grabbed, soldiers mobilize, and the entire unit charges toward the realm entrance. Damn it. The Li clan's young master is in there. If anything happens to him, my career is finished. And from what I know, this boy is just an ordinary person. Please, let him be all right. The commander summons crackling lightning and strikes the realm gate with full force. The realm doesn't budge, not even a hairline crack. Commander, what do we do? An officer asks anxiously. The commander thinks fast. Call the first high principal. Tell him to contact Li Lan's family immediately. Commander, in this situation, calling the parents will only make things worse. This Li Lan, he's from the Li clan of the Yan Emperor. The Yan Emperor's Li clan. The officer goes rigid, then snaps out of it and runs for the phone. After taking down several more Yimu spirits, Li Lan finally reaches the very top of the tree. The system's voice suddenly sounds. Severe contamination energy detected in host. The system has automatically purged it. Contamination energy? He has no time to think about it. He's reached the crown of the great Yimu tree, and a familiar silhouette stands there, locked in brutal combat with two red-robed figures identical to the ones he faced below. Su Xin is barely standing. His clothes are in shreds, his gaze unfocused, his body covered in blood and ash. In his hand swings a massive blade wreathed in blue flame. That blade is the only reason Su Xin is still alive against 3 opponents. The blue flame blood blade was forged by a grand divine art master. Its power is drawn by burning the wielder's own blood. It is not a weapon to use lightly. When Su Xin became Li Lan's study companion, the blade was entrusted to him. Using the blue flame blood blade always leaves serious damage behind. Li Lan's chest tightens. He charges forward. Get away from him! Another meddlesome brat, one of the robed figures rasps, turning toward Li Lan. The moment Li Lan enters the fight, the tide turns. Minutes later, one figure is obliterated by a single punch. The other flees in panic. Li Lan lets it go. He rushes to Su Xin's side. Su Xin, are you alright? Don't worry about me, young master. Get to the base of the tree. Hurry, please, Su Xin gasps. What? They're followers of Black Coffin, an evil cult. They've been using the Blood Moon Chalice to corrupt the realm. It's not complete yet. The Blood Moon Chalice is at the base of the tree right now. You have to stop them, young master. People will die. How do you know all this? Su Xin manages a weak, wry smile. Those 2 idiots told me themselves. Said I'd be joining them soon. Li Lan hoists Su Xin onto his back and descends at full speed, leaping from branch to branch down the great Yimu tree. Yimu spirits swarm him the entire way down. Li Lan cuts through every single one without slowing. Unfortunately, Su Xin can't see any of it. He's fallen asleep on Li Lan's back. All those years of me sleeping while you carried me around, and now you're the one sleeping on me. Li Lan keeps going. Over 10 minutes later, he lands smoothly at the base of the tree. Li Lan, you're back. Are you okay? And Su Xin, what happened to him? All that blood. That's so undignified, Liu Yaya mutters. The students crowd around. Li Lan eases Su Xin off his back and passes him to Wang Shishi and the others. Look, after him. They nod and take over. Li Lan walks up to the base of the trunk and drives his fist into it. Flame burst, flame burst, flame burst, punch after punch, a dozen blows in, and a hole finally breaks open in the massive trunk. Li Lan peers inside. It's hollow. A large green orb of energy floats at the center, radiating a steady stream of wood element power that flows into the surrounding walls. This must be the realm core, but something has gone wrong with it. It's been tainted. Below the orb sits a chalice filled with dark blood. The realm core is steadily drinking in that foul energy and pumping it out through the entire realm. That's why the wood sprites and Yimu spirits have mutated. Their power flows from the realm core, corrupt the core, and everything it touches turns corrupt. Li Lan squeezes into the hollow and kicks the chalice over. He raises his foot to smash it, and it flies out of reach on its own. He lunges after it and can't move. He looks back. The realm core has locked onto him with an overwhelming pulling force, holding him completely in place. What is happening? Then the system speaks. Wood element has found something delicious. It wants it. It wants it so badly, and then Li Lan feels it. A powerful pulling force building inside his own body, drawing the realm core toward him in return, and pulling it straight into his body. Wood element has devoured a supreme wood-type spiritual object. Digestion in progress. Digestion in progress. Wood element energy plus 500. Digestion complete. The wood element happily goes to sleep. Your wood element sorcerer cultivation has reached the high rank. Already high rank? That's genuinely impressive, Li Lan thinks. Hearing Li Lan praise the wood element, the fire element bursts into tears of jealousy and trains furiously. Fire element energy plus 15. With the realm core gone, nothing is holding the chalice back. It bolts. Li Lan scrambles out of the hollow and gives chase. But the moment he steps out, 2 red-robed figures materialize in front of everyone. The blood-filled chalice is in one of their hands. Li Lan recognizes one of them, the one that fled from him up in the tree. The other one is different. Li Lan studies this figure, and his brow tightens. Something about this one puts every nerve in his body on edge. This one is dangerous. The power radiating off this figure is greater than every other opponent Li Lan has faced in this realm combined. Every student scrambles behind Li Lan the moment they see them. Su Xin forces himself upright and raises the blue flame blood blade with trembling arms. whispers. Quite a surprise, finding a talent like you in a little realm like this, the figure says, eyes fixed on Lilan with something like amusement. Would you like to join Black Coffin? Say yes, and I'll personally secure you a place as a high priest. The other robed figure interjects. High priest, but you promised that position to me if I completed this mission. The senior figure glances over. I lied to you. I said the same thing to the other two as well. The other two, almost certainly the ones Lilan already killed. How could you? I've been completely loyal to our master. The other robed figure cries in disbelief. And because of that loyalty, the senior figure says calmly, you can go and serve our master in person. The words barely settle before the other robed figure crumples to the ground, dead, instantly and inexplicably. Even a grand divine art sorcerer shouldn't be able to kill with words alone. How is that possible? Lilan stares at the body, deeply unsettled. The image of the corpse he burned earlier comes back to him. The maggots, the rot, and suddenly it clicks. There's only one explanation. These figures were never truly alive. They're puppets, controlled from within, and this one just killed the controller behind that puppet. That's why it dropped dead. They dispose of their own people without hesitation. Black Coffin is ruthless to its core. Made up your mind? The figure says. Black Coffin is a branch of the Psychic Assembly. Join us, and the door to the Psychic Assembly itself may one day open to you. The Psychic Assembly, one of the most powerful and dangerous cults in the entire Federation. Its members aren't only human, many are from the alien realm races. Is the Psychic Assembly stronger than the Li clan? Lilan asks. The figure pauses, visibly thrown by the question. The Assembly's leader is a power that rivals your Li clan's Yan Emperor, it answers. Then the Yan Emperor's descendants would be the equivalent of the Assembly's top brass, right? The figure nods. More or less. Lilan smiles. Then do you know who I am? Who are you? The figure asks, playing along. The Yan Emperor of the Li clan, Lilan says, drawing it out, is my grandfather. That's not a funny joke, the figure says flatly. The next second, a massive rift tears open in the air above the realm, and a young man with a full head of blazing red hair and a brown armor blazes through it. Little Len, I'm here to save you. Face the judgment of justice, you villains. Of course it's Li Qing. Of all the brothers and sisters, his third brother has always been the most dramatic about it. Hearing that entrance line, Lilan's toes curl so hard he could dig a basement. Li Qing, the figure's eyes snap to the glittering young man, and its composure shatters. You really are from the Li clan. Li Qing, grab him, Lilan shouts, and the chalice in his hand. Understood, justice is served. Dragon of flames, rise. Li Qing roars, throwing a punch. A dragon-shaped inferno erupts from his fist and blazes toward the figure, which is instantly reduced to ash. Lilan sprints forward to seize the chalice, but it slips into a spatial rift, as if it has a mind of its own, and vanishes without a trace. The blood moon chalice. Li Qing lands beside him, staring at the spot where it disappeared, his expression turning grave. Then he quickly looks to Lilan. Little Lan, are you hurt? I'm fine, Li Qing, but can you help Susin? I don't think he can hold on much longer. Li Qing takes one look at Sushin, reaches into his pocket, and produces a gleaming golden vial, tipping it into Sushin's mouth. Within seconds, Sushin's wounds begin closing, visibly, rapidly, in real time. Little Lan, how did you all survive in here this long? Li Qing asks, genuinely curious. That puppet was no ordinary threat. Its strength was at the peak of the high rank, and that was after being suppressed by the realm's limits. There must have been others. It's all thanks to Lilan, a student steps forward and says, voice full of emotion. Without him, we would have died a long time ago. Exactly, Lilan saved us. One punch per creature, every time. The students around them chime in, their faces filled with the raw, shaky joy of people who nearly didn't make it. Li Qing freezes, his eyes go to Lilan in disbelief. He's just realized that his little brother quietly, without a word to anyone, cultivated all the way to the high rank, and has awakened a nascent divine art. That's further than Li Qing himself had gotten at this age. Lilan rubs the back of his head with a sheepish grin. Cultivating is kind of fun, actually. I just did it in my sleep. The fire element expresses extreme contempt for that statement and begins training furiously. Fire element energy plus 50. The wood element chimes in, Master, you are shameless, but I love it. Wood element energy plus 50. 2 more dead weights, Lilan thinks, keeping his smile perfectly in place. You really deserve a beating right now. Li Qing reins himself in and nods instead. Not bad. Worthy of being the Golden Holy Warrior's brother. What an embarrassing title. Lilan doesn't even have the energy to comment. Li Qing, what exactly is the Blood Moon Chalice? The Golden Holy Warrior title vanishes from Li Qing's face. He turns serious. The Blood Moon Chalice is an extraordinarily powerful sacred artifact and the Psychic Assembly's most holy relic. It's divided into a prime chalice and 10 branch chalices. 5 branch chalices are held at the Assembly's headquarters. The other 5 are distributed among its 5 branches. What you just saw was Black Coffin's branch chalice. It carries immense power, both to corrupt and to enthrall. The wood sprites and Yimu spirits you fought today, those twisted, monstrous versions, were the result of that corruption. As for enthrallment, Li Qing's brow furrows. The Assembly's an abnormal method of recruiting devoted followers. They introduce the chalice's sacred blood into a person's body, letting it slowly erode their will until they become completely subject to the chalice holder. And if you ever betray them, the holder can activate the sacred blood inside you, rotting your body from the inside out. In the early stage, the infected person experiences memory loss, slowed reactions, and a vacant, unfocused gaze. In the mid-stage, the skin begins to redden. In the late stage, that person's life belongs entirely to the chalice holder. A vacant, unfocused gaze. The image of Sushin at the top of the the tree flashes in Lilan's mind. Every muscle in his body tenses. Don't tell me Sushin was infected. He's about to ask when a clear voice cuts in from the side. Excuse me, senior. If someone has been infected with sacred blood, what can remove it? It's Wang Miao, Wang Chu's sister, the girl Lilan met only a short while ago. Li Qing thinks for a moment. Both Lilan and Wang Miao listen closely. There are two ways. The first is to obtain the Blood Moon Prime Chalice and draw the sacred blood back into it. The second is a blood purifying medicine, but it's extremely costly, and it can't eliminate the sacred blood. It can only slow its spread. Though, Li Qing adds, there are master-grade medicines powerful enough for grand divine art practitioners that may be able to eliminate it entirely. Lilan asks casually, by the way, if the authorities find someone in the early stages of sacred blood infection, what do they do? Imprisonment or execution? Wang Miao goes pale. She quietly steps away. Why are you asking that? Li Qing asks, turning serious. Little Lan, you weren't infected, were you? Of course not, Li Lan says quickly. Li Qing reaches over and checks Li Lan's energy channels. Satisfied that he's clean, he finally relaxes. Slightly. Inside, Li Lan's chest feels like a stone. So that severe contamination energy the system purged, that was sacred blood. But when did it get in? Was it mixed in with the wood sprite essence and Yimu spirit essence he absorbed? If so, why weren't the students he rescued affected? Maybe it only takes hold after enough is absorbed to form a complete infection. The Yimu Demon King was almost certainly killed by Sushin, which means Sushin absorbed the Yimu spirit essence, which means Sushin has sacred blood in him too. Once they're out, the military will run checks on everyone. Sushin will be found out. He has to get Sushin out before that happens, because once the military takes him, there's no chance they'd spend money on medicine, which leaves only one option, execution. Sushin is his friend, his brother. He's been by Li Lan's side for years. There is no way Li Lan is letting him die. As for the sacred blood, he already has a solution in mind. It comes down to money. And money is the one thing Li Lan has never lacked. Li Lan turns to Li Qing with his most pitiful expression. Li Qing, I'm exhausted. Can you take me and Sushin out of here early? Li Qing frowns. No, the military needs to run checks on everyone first. You can't leave early, just as he suspected. But I really want to go now, Li Lan pleads. Li Qing, I have never been this tired in my entire life. I just want to sleep. The golden holy warrior hesitates but shakes his head. No, rules are rules. Your words, Li Lan says, a sly light entering his eyes. Because the moment we're out, I'm telling our second sister that last summer, her brand new Sailor Moon dress, the one she just bought, was stolen by you. How do you know about that? Li Qing's face drains of color. Because I was asleep in her wardrobe at the time, Li Lan says flatly. He fixes Li Qing with a long, meaningful look. Li Qing, I never knew you were that kind of person. I was wrong. I'll take you both out right now. Please, please don't tell your second sister. She'll kill me. Li Qing scoops both of them up and walks. Before leaving, Li Lan takes Wang Miao's contact information. From the way Wang Miao asked that question earlier, it's clear that someone close to her has been infected with sacred blood. He wants to be able to check on her situation. Li Qing shatters the spatial barrier with a single punch, forces through the rift, and all three of them emerge into the outside world. Military personnel swarm around them immediately. Mr. Li Qing, sir. Mr. Li Qing, we can't thank you enough. Not at all. This is simply what a son of justice must do. Li Qing waves it off. He strides away from the base with Li Lan and Sushin, wasting no time. Wait, Mr. Li Qing, you can't take those two. But by the time anyone spots Li Lan and Sushin in his arms, it's too late. Li Qing has already skipped off cheerfully into the crowd and disappeared. What do we do? Those two haven't been checked. The officer turns to the commander in distress. Should I go after them? If you think you can beat the Golden Holy Warrior, be my guest, the commander says, giving him a flat look, and walks away. The officer rubs the back of his head and quietly decides this never happened. Soon after, the realm channel is opened and the surviving students begin filing out. The principals of both schools start counting heads. They count, and count again, and then they both break down in tears. The losses are devastating. Between both schools, over 300 students are dead. These were living, breathing people. Every single one of them was someone's pride, someone's beloved child, and now they're gone. Just like that. It's my fault. I never should have brought them here. Principal Dudehua of First High drops to his knees in front of the students who made it out, pressing his forehead to the ground in tearful penance. He slaps himself across the face again and again. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. This is my fault. I failed to protect you. I failed all of you. I failed your parents. I am unforgivable. Military personnel rush to pull both principals to their feet and press sedatives into their hands. The commander says quietly, almost to herself, only 300. Principal Du whips around, furious. Only? 300 isn't enough for you? I'm sorry, that's not what I meant, the commander says quickly. What I mean is, the casualties are far lower than I expected. According to what command told us, incidents like this one today have already happened in other parts of Jiangnan province. Each realm saw approximately 800 casualties. Both principals go pale. 800. That number is almost beyond comprehension. A soldier steps forward. Commander, report. We've got a clearer picture now. According to the students, someone named Li Lan was responsible for saving them inside the realm. Li Lan. You're sure that's the name? An officer asks, unable to hide his disbelief. The image that comes to mind is the handsome boy in the wheelchair. Good looking, sure, but The same person, the commander asks. The soldier nods. Confirmed, that is the name. According to the students, Li Lan is a high-rank fire element sorcerer, and he has also mastered a nascent divine art. It was his leadership that kept most of them alive inside the mist zone. High-rank sorcerer, nascent divine art. 2 bombshells land at once, and every person present is stunned into silence. The commander looks at the principal of First High. The principal shakes his head frantically. He knew nothing. Understood. Return to your unit. The soldier leaves. The commander draws a slow, deep breath. The Yan Emperor's Li clan, remarkable talents truly do lurk in the shadows. And to think Li Lan was one of them all along, a high-rank sorcerer still in his teens. It seems the Dragon Nation is about to gain another legend. He fooled everyone. A true dragon, and the Li clan publicly called him a good-for-nothing. You really cannot take a powerful family's word at face value. Commander, should we send Li Lan a commendation banner? An officer asks. The commander thinks for a moment, then shakes her head. No need. The Li clan sent him to a regular school precisely because they did not want him drawing attention. If this incident had not happened, Li Lan would likely have stayed hidden indefinitely. Since the Li clan wants him to keep a low profile, the least we can do is stay out of it. The officer nods in acknowledgement. Meanwhile, in the boys' dormitory of Shangnan First High, young master, Sushin says, his voice firm, I have been infected with sacred blood. I could become a black coffin puppet at any moment. For your safety, I have to turn myself in. Li Lan's anger flares. He sweeps the dinner Sushin prepared straight off the table and onto the floor. Sushin, if you walk out that door today, I will consider you dead to me. But young master, if I stay near you, you will be in danger. Sushin bends down and starts picking up the scattered bowls and chopsticks. I already told you, as long as the sacred blood is kept suppressed, nothing will happen to you. The cost of that suppression is enormous, young master. I am not worth it. Whether you are worth it, that is for me to decide. Li Lan holds his gaze unusually serious. Besides, it is just money, and money I have plenty of. Sushin is silent for a long moment, then he sighs and walks out the door. Li Lan's expression collapses the instant the door closes. Fine, go then. Don't bother coming back. The room goes dead quiet. Minutes pass. Sushin does not come back. He actually left. Fine, whatever. Not my problem. Li Lan lies back down and closes his eyes, but sleep refuses to come. He lies there, restless and irritable, staring at nothing. Then, knock, knock, knock. Could that be Sushin? A small spark of relief flickers in Li Lan's chest, but he keeps his expression cold. Didn't you leave? What are you back for? If it is Sushin, most of his anger is already gone. In 17 years at the Li clan estate, his laziness had kept him from making a single friend, and now this idiot just walked out. To say he is not upset, that would be a lie. The door creaks open slowly. A lean figure steps inside. Not Sushin. Li Lan frowns. Who are you? The man introduces himself with a bow. Good evening, young Master Li Lan. My name is Wang Kai. You have drawn the attention of Black Coffin, so young Master Li Qing has sent me to protect you. I don't need protection right now. The person who just left this building, you know who he is, correct? You mean young Master Sushin? Wang Kai says. Of course he knows him. Sushin's mother is a member of the Li clan, which makes Sushin family by extension. Li Lan nods. Then I am ordering you. Bring him back, now. But, Wang Kai hesitates. Young Master Li Qing said there is a high probability of a Black Coffin attack in the near future. My orders are to stay by your side at all times. Then I will go myself. Li Lan moves toward the door, and Wang Kai steps in front of him. What are you doing? Young Master, if you go out alone, there is a very real chance Black Coffin operatives will target you. Let me go. You stay in the dormitory, and do not step outside this circle I am about to draw. Wang Kai presses 2 fingers together. A thin tongue of black flame curls from his fingertip. He points at the floor, and a large black and red circle blazes into existence. Li Lan notices a black ring on Wang Kai's finger. That must be where the power comes from. What is that? A barrier ring. It generates a protective barrier. Stay inside the circle. If you come under attack, the barrier will protect you, and I will know instantly. Li Lan steps inside without argument. The moment he does, a shell of dark barrier energy rises around him, enveloping him completely. Wang Kai relaxes visibly and dashes out the door in pursuit of Sushin. With nothing to do inside the barrier, Li Lan simply lies down on the floor and goes to sleep. Wood element has successfully absorbed the core power of the Yimu and grasped a divine art. Yimu reverence. Wood element has obtained a divine art. However, current elemental energy is insufficient to advance to divine art sorcerer rank. Currently cultivating diligently. Wood element energy plus 50. Wood element sees you sleeping and is deeply contemptuous. It launches into a furious cultivation session. Wood element energy plus 60. Fire element, infected by wood element's attitude, fixes you with an equally contemptuous stare and follows suit. Fire element energy plus 60. Meanwhile, in a cave on the outskirts of Shangnan City, a 7-year-old boy spits up a mouthful of deep red blood. A skull pendant hangs from his neck. Before him, a massive iron furnace blazes in the darkness of the cave, and the fuel feeding those flames, unmistakably, is the bodies of children. High Priest, are you all right? A beautiful woman with a serpent tattoo steps forward with concern. From the boy's mouth comes a voice, childlike in pitch, but burning with rage. He buries his face in his hands and screams. That cursed Li Qing, that insufferably over-the-top fool, he burned away the fragment of my soul I had placed inside that puppet. A grand divine art sorcerer, the golden holy warrior, Li Qing. We entered an unranked secret realm. How could someone like him possibly be inside? The enchantress gently places a hand on the boy's back. I miscalculated. I did not account for the Li clan's young master being inside. Li Qing went in to rescue him. The boy looks upward. A rift splits open in the space above his head, and with a sharp crack the blood moon branch chalice drops firmly into his grasp. The young master of the Yan Emperor's Li clan, Li Lan? The enchantress frowns. What was he doing in there? there. The boy shakes his head, and then slowly smiles. I have no idea. But this family really does hide their talents well. A young master publicly written off as a good-for-nothing, and he turns out to be a high-rank sorcerer. If not for him, this plan would not have failed. High-rank sorcerer? The enchantress raises an eyebrow. Still, he interfered with our faith's plans. Should I dispatch one of our top divine art sorcerers to eliminate him? The boy shakes his head. No need. Li Qing is not foolish. After escorting Li Lan out of the realm, he will certainly have him placed under protection. The boy thinks for a moment, then continues. A probe, however, is acceptable. Li Lan is a fire element sorcerer. Send a water element believer. Low-rank divine art sorcerer level will suffice. If Li Lan truly has a powerful guardian nearby, we lose at most one low-rank divine art sorcerer. Once this affair settles, the Li clan will sweep for Black Coffin remnants on a large scale. Most of our lower-rank members will likely be lost in that purge regardless. Rather than lose them for nothing, let them contribute one last act of service to our lord before the end. Understood. I will see to it immediately. The enchantress departs. The boy straightens, and a cold gleam surfaces in his eyes. The seeds of a god have already been planted. In 6 months, the National Martial Tournament begins. Black Coffin's era will come again, and this time, we will rise from the ashes completely. The Psychic Assembly, he lets out a quiet laugh. Give it a few more years, and they will be bowing to us. Back in the dormitory, Li Lan is jolted awake by his phone ringing. He picks it up. It is his grandfather. Li Lan rubs the sleep from his eyes and answers. Grandpa, what is it? Can't I call my own grandson for no reason? A hearty laugh comes through the line. Li Lan smiles lazily. You are a very busy man, Grandpa. This kid, anyway. Your third brother tells me you have reached high rank in your fire element cultivation. That is true, Li Lan says with a sigh. Grandpa, you are not calling to drag me back to the clan estate, are you? What is wrong with coming home? Nothing's wrong with it, I just don't want to come back yet. Li Lan shifts the phone. If that's all, I am going to hang up now. Hold on, you impatient child, where's the fire? I am sending you some cultivation resources. Make sure you actually use them. The National Martial Tournament is 6 months away. I expect a respectable result from you. And another thing. Yes, understood. Li Lan cuts in quickly. This kid, alright, that is your word on it then. Do you have enough money? Plenty. Li Lan thinks of the hundreds of millions sitting in his account. Then he thinks of Su Xin and the sacred blood, and quickly adds, actually, could you transfer me a bit more? Of course, I will send it right away. And about Black Coffin, the clan is already handling it. You just focus on your cultivation. Rats hiding in the gutter, no matter how many times you stamp them out. Thank you, Grandpa. Li Lan rarely speaks so warmly. The call ends. Seconds later, his phone buzzes. A bank transfer notification. 50 million yuan. Grandpa is truly generous. Li Lan pulls up prices for blood purifying medicine online. The basic grade runs 100,000 per vial. Mid-grade, 800,000. Premium grade, 2 million. That is not actually that expensive. He orders 10 premium vials in one go. Delivery expected tomorrow. Purchase complete. Back to sleep. Your fire element is cultivating automatically. Fire element energy plus 35. Your wood element is cultivating automatically. Wood element energy plus 20. About 40 minutes later, the fire element inside Li Lan begins to stir. Something is wrong. A presence that makes it recoil. A water element power user is close. Li Lan opens his eyes slowly and looks toward the window. An old man in a sanitation worker's uniform is climbing up the outside of the building. A water element divine art sorcerer. Li Lan yawns. Who are you? His tone makes it very clear he is deeply unhappy about being disturbed. Someone here to take your life. A mere fire element sorcerer, and yet you look at me like I am nothing. Insolent. The old man shatters the window and hurls a massive water sphere. It crashes against the barrier and stops dead. There is a barrier here? Who said fire was all I had? Li Lan rises slowly to his feet. Brilliant green light coils around his hands. Yimu sky shatter. In an instant, a massive tangle of vines erupts from the floor and explodes outward, growing at a furious rate, wrapping around the old man completely. Impossible. How does someone from the Li clan also possess a wood attribute divine art? Wait, that is not a nascent form. That is not a nascent divine art. That is a full and true divine art. You do not even have the cultivation of a divine art sorcerer. How did you grasp a true divine art? The high priest led me astray. The old man thrashes wildly inside the vines. Li Lan strolls out of the barrier and scratches his disheveled hair. You talk too much. Then he drives a fist through the vines, blazing with fire, straight into the old man's head. The impact is total. Blood spatters across Li Lan's face. Li Lan walks calmly to the bathroom, washes his face, returns to the barrier, and lies back down to sleep. At that same moment, in an alley outside the school, Wang Kai goes rigid. Su Xin, trussed up over Wang Kai's shoulder, looks at him with confusion. What is wrong? Young Master Li Lan is under attack. What? Go back. This is all my fault. I know. Stop talking. Black mist envelops Wang Kai's legs, and his speed multiplies instantly. He covers the ground back to the school in seconds. When they arrive, Su Xin takes one look at the state of the dormitory room and deflates entirely. The young master can't be hurt. This is my fault. If I hadn't left, you wouldn't have gone after me, and the young master wouldn't have been in danger at all. Wang Kai's expression is not much better. He frowns. Let's check inside first, before we draw any conclusions. The barrier ring was given to me by young master Li Qing. It should not have been broken so easily. They step through the door and find a blood-soaked body lying on the floor. Young master! Su Xin's whole body starts shaking. He tears free from his restraints and sprints to the body, dropping to his knees. Young master, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He chokes out the words for a long moment before something registers. This does not look like Li Lan. Li Lan would never wear fabric this coarse. Could the young master actually be alive? He scrambles to search through the debris. Behind a large cardboard box, he finds Li Lan, lying peacefully inside the barrier circle, fast asleep. He's even snoring softly. Su Xin breaks into a smile. The young master is alive. If that is not young master Li Li Lan. Then who is this? Wang Kai crouches beside the body and pulls back the clothing. On the chest, a black skull mark. What is this? Black coffin. And by the look of it, a divine art sorcerer, Wang Kai says. A divine art sorcerer. Su Xin stares in disbelief. You mean the young master killed a divine art sorcerer? Wang Kai nods. Su Xin draws a sharp breath. He had once thought Li Lan was just a mid-rank sorcerer like himself. After the secret realm, he thought Li Lan was high rank. But now it is clear, Li Lan has been hiding far more than even that. To kill a divine art sorcerer at this age, and without any outside help, even among the best of this generation, young master Li Lan's record would place him at the very top, Wang Kai says quietly. Young master Su Xin, you had better work hard too. The national martial tournament is in 6 months. Place well, and you will be rewarded both by the authorities and by the clan. Su Xin nods with quiet determination. I will. But then the thought of the sacred blood surfaces again. He opens the shopping app, spends a painful amount, and orders a few vials of standard blood purifying medicine. As for what comes after, he will figure that out when the time comes. By the way, Wang Kai, will you be living with us from now on? Su Xin turns to ask. If so, we will need another bed. Though first we need to actually repair this room. He surveys the damage, a gaping hole in the floor, the ceiling fan dangling loose, the window nowhere to be found. No need for the window, Wang Kai says. In addition to fire element, I have dark element power. I will guard you from the shadows. As for the room, I will call someone. Wang Kai makes a call. Repair workers arrive shortly after. That evening, the students all return to school. Li Lan wakes from his sleep and opens his eyes to find Su Xin standing there. Didn't I say, if you left, don't bother coming back? Su Xin shifts awkwardly. Young master, you were wrong. Yes, and now you know it. So what? I have already found a new attendant. He starts tomorrow. Li Lan stretches with a long, lazy yawn. He rolls over to go back to sleep. Young master, I truly am sorry. The words clearly cost Su Xin something. If you are sorry, go buy me a wheelchair. Mine was left behind in the secret realm. Su Xin's face lights up. That means he is allowed to stay. A few hours later, Su Xin returns to the dormitory wheeling a new chair and carrying a large box. Young master, this package looks like it came from the clan. That was fast. Su Xin sets it on the bed. Li Lan tears it open. A surge of intense heat rolls out, and inside, packed to the brim, are fire element energy stones. So many. Li Lan reaches his hand in, and every stone vanishes instantly. Fire element has consumed a large quantity of fire attribute energy stones. Cultivating intensively. Fire element energy plus 100. All energy stones fully digested. Your fire element sorcerer cultivation has advanced to high rank, late stage, already at late stage. Well, after absorbing hundreds of millions worth of energy stones, even a pig should be at late stage. Li Lan peers into the empty box. With the energy stones gone, a slim booklet lies at the bottom. The body tempering art. Li Lan is genuinely surprised. Beyond raw cultivation, a sorcerer needs a strong physical body. Without one, even a powerful cultivator can find themselves overwhelmed in real combat. That is why many cultivators carve out time specifically to temper their bodies alongside their elemental training. The body tempering art is the Li clan's dedicated physical cultivation method, obtained by his grandfather from a secret realm in his younger years. Beyond this, there is also the dragon tiger body tempering art, but that is reserved for grand divine art sorcerers. Completely out of reach for someone at his current level. So Grandpa is completely serious about the tournament. Li Lan lets out a long sigh. He opens the booklet. The system's voice chimes in immediately. 17 errors detected in the body tempering art currently being studied by the host. The system has automatically corrected them. The body tempering art has met its new master and is very pleased. It is now diligently strengthening your physique. 17 errors in a Li clan heirloom technique. As he feels his body growing stronger step by step, Li Lan is genuinely startled. He has no intention of telling the clan. Those old traditionalists would never believe him anyway. The next day, the medicine arrives. Li Lan hands it to Su Xin. Su Xin says a quiet thank you and barely speaks for the rest of the day. Li Lan understands. His mind must be a complicated place right now. He leaves him alone. That evening, Li Lan sees a message from Wang Miao. Li Lan, about what you told me in the secret realm, I have been paying attention since I got back. Shu Hu disappeared after coming out of the realm. The next day, his parents came to school to withdraw him. Today I went to his home and found the whole family had moved out. Do you know what happened? Li Lan exchanges a few messages with her, then puts down his phone with a sigh. Shu Hu was taken. His decision yesterday, getting Su Xin out before the checks, was the right one. If he had not pulled Su Xin away in time, he might be reading a withdrawal notice for Su Xin today instead. 6 months pass. 1 month remains before the national martial tournament. Across every province of the Dragon Nation, lists are being drawn up. Cities are called upon to identify their most talented cultivators and send them to the provincial capitals to compete. 1 month after the provincial selections, the winners will travel to Longjin for the national competition. Your fire element is cultivating diligently. Fire element energy plus 60. Your wood element is cultivating diligently. Wood element energy plus 70. Your thunder element is cultivating diligently. Thunder element energy plus 60. Your body tempering art is diligently strengthening your physique. Overtime complete. Fire element is tired and entering dormancy. Your fire element cultivation has advanced to divine art sorcerer mid-stage. Wood element is exhausted and going to sleep. Your wood element cultivation has advanced to grand divine art sorcerer early stage. Thunder element, seeing the others have stopped, also halts. Your thunder element cultivation has advanced to divine art sorcerer early stage. In the dormitory, Li Lan, deep in sleep, twitches an eyebrow in mild surprise. Sometime later, a familiar voice breaks through his dream. Young master, wake up, young master. Li Lan stretches slowly and looks up at Su Xin with sleepy indifference. The principal wants to see you. He says he plans to send the two of us along with 2 upper upperclassmen to the provincial capital to compete in the qualifier for the national martial tournament. The entry requirement is high-rank sorcerer. Element type has no restriction. After 6 months of training, Su Xin has reached high-rank late-stage fire element, fully meeting the requirements. Lilan answers flatly, "I am not going." He rolls back over. Su Xin pulls him upright again. "The principal said you have to attend." A faint sardonic smile crosses Lilan's face. "So he still remembers I exist. Your grandfather also said you have to go. Otherwise he will personally travel from Longjing to Xiangnan and make his feelings known, with a bamboo cane, specifically applied to your backside." Lilan goes very still. Then he sits up. "Fine, push me over there." In principal's office, Lilan, Su Xin, Huang Shaoqian, and Zhang Lianqi. "Whether this school receives the Education Bureau's funding this year, it all comes down to you four," the principal says, his voice heavy with meaning. "This tournament is critical. Simply placing in the rankings, even without advancing to Longjin, will bring enormous rewards. Do you all understand?" "Yes, principal. Don't worry. Even if I don't crack the top 10, I will definitely place in the top 20. No problem." "Understood, principal." Three voices respond together. Lilan says nothing. They look over at him. Somewhere between the principal's first sentence and this moment, Lilan has fallen asleep in his wheelchair. The principal has grown used to this, but his eye still twitches. Su Xin, when he wakes up, make sure he is informed. "Of course." Su Xin nods. They leave the principal's office. Wang to Su Xin and lowers his voice. "A lot of the upperclassmen are unhappy that you two were chosen to represent the school. You and young Master Li had better watch yourselves." Su Xin pauses, then nods. "Understood. Thank you. I'll be careful. See you tomorrow then." Huang Shaoxian strikes a pose he clearly considers very impressive. Who would even bother being that petty about us? Su Xin wheels Lilan back toward the dormitory. As they pass an empty room, 5 tall, broad-shouldered young men step out. Su Xin's brow tightens. "Who are you? What do you want?" "We just want to see for ourselves," one of them says with a cold smile. "How talented are these so-called geniuses who get to represent the school?" After the Secret Realm incident 6 months ago, the school had quietly buried the story and paid every student to keep quiet. Word of what Lilan did inside the realm had still circulated through the school, but these upperclassmen had kept largely to themselves and knew little about Lilan. At the very least, Lilan, who had apparently woken up at some point, looks at the 5 of them with cold eyes. "I will count to 3. If you do not get out of the way, you will regret it. 3, 2. Ha! Is this kid seriously talking to us? We have heard about your reputation. Today, let's see what you are actually made of. A guy in a wheelchair telling us to move. That is rich." They cannot help laughing. One of them mutters quietly, "I heard this Lilan has serious backing. Are we sure this is a good idea?" The young man beside him, hair dyed green, scoffs. "Fear? I am Kui Minghao. I do not fear anyone. If he earned his spot through connections alone and not talent, then I will be the first to object." Minghao's right. Same here. Just as Lilan is about to act, Su Xin steps in front of him. "Let me handle this, young master. Otherwise, we will just end up paying for repairs again." "What are you implying? That all I know how to do is destroy things," Lilan says coolly. "Then go ahead." All 5 shift their attention to Su Xin. "You alone. You want to die?" Su Xin's expression is ice cold. "Against trash like you, one is more than enough." "You want to die? Talking big in front of Minghao, what a joke." Elemental energy crackles to life in their hands. Water, fire, several types, all of them are elemental power users. "Stand down," Kui Minghao says. "I will handle this myself." He narrows his eyes. "So you are Su Xin. Let's see just how strong the cold noble of the lower years really is." Fire ignites at his feet and sweeps toward Su Xin in a wide arc. Su Xin says nothing. Fire erupts from his palm, a massive vortex that expands and swallows everyone in the corridor in an instant. Lilan flicks a finger. A thick vine shoots up from the floor and wraps a protective barrier around the 4 who had not attacked. A few seconds later, the flames die down. Su Xin stands calmly at Lilan's side. Kui Minghao is on the floor, burned from head to toe, trembling with shock. "Minghao! Minghao!" His companions rush over and pull him upright. One of them looks at Lilan with a complicated expression. "Why did you protect us just now?" Without Lilan's vine, he knows their fate would have looked just like Kui Minghao's right now. Lilan does not answer. He looks at Su Xin instead. "Not bad, but you need to work on controlling the range of your divine art. If you catch bystanders in it next time, that will be a problem." "Understood, young master." Su Xin nods and wheels Lilan away. Kui Minghao and his group watch them go in complete silence. "Minghao, do we still try to take their qualifier spots?" Kui Minghao slowly gets to his feet. He calls after Lilan at full volume. "Your strength is real. I respect that. I, Kui Minghao, give my word. From today forward, no one from the upper years will bother you. Let's go." Kui Minghao turns and walks. Only after they leave do the students who had been watching from inside nearby rooms finally dare to come out. "I always knew Su Xin was good, but not that good. Kui Minghao is top 5 in the upper years, and Su Xin took him down in one move. If Su Xin is that strong, Lilan must be even stronger. I don't know about that." "What do you mean you don't know? Lilan is only stronger, not weaker. I have seen him training Su Xin out on the backfield all the time. When has a master ever been weaker than his student? Anyone saying Su Xin surpasses Lilan must be from the middle years. Lilan was already high rank 6 months ago. By now he has probably reached divine art sorcerer level. That would make him stronger than the teachers." "The teachers? Please, young Master Lan is my idol. The qualifier is 10 days away. They are required to arrive 1 day early, and the authorities will send a vehicle to transport them to the provincial capital. That means the next 9 days are free time. The school has officially designated them as a holiday, ostensibly to let them relax and ease their nerves before the competition. 6 months ago, Lilan had purchased an apartment in the city center for exactly these occasions. His thunder element had also also awakened around that time, a lucky chance encounter with a Thunder attribute treasure hidden in a small secret realm. Su Xin wheels Lilan through the apartment complex. The sacred blood, it's been under control, no issues. The medicine you gave me has kept it suppressed, no activity for the past 6 months. 6 months ago, Su Xin had signed an indentured contract with Lilan, pledging 30 years of free service after graduation to repay the cost of the medicine. Lilan had wanted to refuse, but Su Xin held firm, and in the end, Lilan accepted. Lilan opens the apartment door, and a girl launches herself into view. She wears a bright pink outfit, her hair in 2 high pigtails, with a pair of sharp, bright eyes, skin flawless and poreless, a candy cigarette dangling from the corner of her mouth. Mimi, why are you here again? Lilan slouches in his wheelchair, visibly pained. You think I wanted to come? Look at the size of this tiny place. Mimi looks the apartment up and down with her candy still in her mouth, nose wrinkled in disapproval. Grandpa sent me. He wanted me to check whether you actually signed up for the National Martial Tournament qualifier. She gives Lilan a look. You are still this lazy. You are too lazy to even walk. She is Lilan's cousin. Well, if you don't want to be here, you can always sleep outside. Lilan replies with equal disdain. I came all this way, and you want to kick me out? Mimi chews her candy and pouts, attempting to look adorable. And it must be said, when she is quiet, she really is quite cute. The kind of girl next door, adorable that puts people at ease. The moment she opens her mouth, that image shatters, at least in Lilan's eyes. To everyone else, Mimi is simply a sweet, charming girl. Stay or go. Do what you want, just get out of the doorway. Su Xin, let's head in. Back in the room, Lilan immediately collapses onto the bed and falls asleep. Mimi looks at Su Xin. Su Xin, my brother is this lazy and you just let him? You know how he is. Su Xin smiles. He has always been like this, but this is extreme. I have never in my life met anyone this lazy. Mimi announces this loudly, then vaults onto the bed and plops herself squarely onto Lilan's lower back. Lilan lets out a yelp of pain. What is wrong with you? I'm sorry, don't be mad at me. Mimi immediately buries her face against his back and rubs back and forth, voice flipping to full-on wheedling mode in an instant. Lilan lets out a cold grunt, most of his irritation already deflated. He shoves her off. Get out of here, you little brat. Go play somewhere else. I am sleeping. As dusk settles in, Lilan gets up to use the bathroom. He glances around. Mimi is nowhere in sight, off doing whatever she does. Su Xin is in his room, deep in cultivation. On the way back, Lilan notices a book sitting on the living room table. Did Mimi bring homework? She has never studied a day in her life. As far as Lilan remembers, Mimi had hated studying since she was small, and loved fighting. In her first year of middle school, she was suspended for an entire semester over a brawl, yet she insists on wearing pink at all times, a living proof of the saying that the pinker the outfit, the harder the punch. He moves closer to look. It is not homework at all. It is a fighting journal, filled with meticulous notes on every trick, dirty move, and tactic Mimi has discovered through years of brawling. Lilan does not know whether to laugh or sigh. He flips to the cover. Written in large confident characters, Master Mimi's Combat Journal. The system chimes in. 137 errors detected in the unknown combat art currently being reviewed by the host. The system has automatically corrected them. 137. Lilan stares. Well, since they are already corrected, he might as well write them down properly. He picks up a pen, and rather than marking up Mimi's journal, he takes out a fresh notebook and writes it all out from scratch. Half an hour later, Lilan rubs his eyes. Done. He goes straight back to sleep. A few hours later, Mimi comes home and finds her journal has been moved. She explodes. Who dared touch my things? She marches to the table, cheeks puffed with fury, snatches up the journal, checks it over. Nothing missing, nothing damaged. She exhales. What's this? She picks up the new notebook beside it and flips through a few pages, and immediately stops. She is transfixed. It can be done like that? And here, it works like this? This is incredible. How did I never think of this? She reads for hours, then suddenly she wonders, who wrote this? She examines the handwriting. It is her lazy cousin's. No way. My cousin, this guy who is too lazy to walk, a combat master. Has he been faking all along? More dedicated than anyone else, just in secret? That has to be it. Why else would Grandpa send me to check on him? Even Grandpa believes in his ability. You really have been hiding your true strength all along. No, someone this exceptional cannot be wasted on someone else. My cousin belongs to me. Mimi clenches her fist, marches to Lilan's door, and drives her foot into it. The door does not open. A hole appears in it instead. Lilan does not stir. Mimi keeps kicking, shouting as she goes. Cousin, stop sleeping. I want to take you as my master. Get up. Can you hear me? Su Xin, drawn by the noise, arrives at the scene and stares. He had heard the rumors. Mimi of the Li clan, a one-woman wrecking crew who once kicked through an iron door. The rumors, it turns out, were accurate. Su Xin, perfect timing. Do you have a key? Open this for me. There is a door handle right there. You just turn it. Su Xin points. Mimi turns the handle. The door opens. She goes beet red. Sorry about that. I got too excited. Forgot there was a handle. Then she pulls, and the door handle comes off in her hand. Your cousin has plenty of money. It's fine. So the other rumor about her is also true, Su Xin notes. Mimi, not just a one-woman wrecking crew, but pure muscle with very little else. I don't want to pay for any of this anyway, Su Xin murmurs. Mimi smiles sweetly. In that single moment, as she steps into Lilan's room, Su Xin has a strange feeling that Mimi is not a wrecking crew at all, just a well-behaved girl who happens to be very strong. I must be losing my mind, he thinks. Su Xin shakes his head and retreats to his room to continue cultivating. Lilan, sleeping soundly, suddenly feels a sharp pain in his abdomen, like something has landed on top of him. He opens his eyes. 2 bare feet are directly in his face. Are you out of your mind? Lilan shouts. Get your feet away from my face. Mimi laughs. You're so heartless. I am your beloved cousin, you know. Lilan launches her off the bed in one motion and goes back to sleep. Li Mimi climbs up from the floor with a deeply wounded look. You really are heartless. Hey, was that notebook on the table yours? Lilan gives a muffled grunt of acknowledgement. Li Mimi grins. You really have been hiding your true strength all along. All these years I honestly thought you were useless. Lilan ignores her. She keeps going. Take me as your student. I will carry your fighting art to glory. I will open a martial arts school, command tens of thousands of students. Her eyes are practically glowing as she describes it. Lilan feels her words buzzing around his skull like a trapped insect. He is starting to regret writing that notebook. Are you even listening? What do you think of my plan? It is a terrible plan. Go challenge the 10,000 clans territory, and those savage spirit brutes will kick you into paste. Bordering the Human Federation's territory are two other races, the Wind Shadow Clan and the Savage Spirit Clan. The Wind Shadow Clan keeps to themselves. Ever since their homeland merged with Blue Star, they have remained peacefully within their own borders, engaging with the outside world only for trade. The Savage Spirit Clan is a different matter entirely, born violent, with strength that defies reason. Since the spiritual energy awakening, they have spent 3,000 years hungering to swallow human territory. The Human Federation has fought them in tens of thousands of conflicts, large and small, over the centuries. And despite all of it, vast stretches of human land have been seized and absorbed into their domain. Every last person on those lands met the same fate. Fine. Then don't take me as your student. Why do you have to say something so awful? Li Mimi puffs her cheeks indignantly. Come out with me then? I want to buy something, but I spent all my money. No, please come on. No, really not going? Really? You sure? Li Mimi suddenly smiles. Well, if you really won't come, then let's play a game right here. A deep sense of dread washes over Lilan. He sits up instantly. Fine, I'll go, but you are pushing my wheelchair. Of course! Li Mimi beams. The moment the elevator doors open, Lilan closes his eyes on instinct. Sure enough, the next second he finds out exactly what it feels like to fly. Li Mimi launches into a full sprint, wheelchair and all. We're off! Shopping time! Let's go, go, go! A 30-minute walk covered in 5 minutes flat. Li Mimi wheels Lilan into a high-end collectible doll shop. The shop attendant recognizes Li Mimi immediately and breaks into a wide smile. Li Mimi selects a pink dinosaur plush. The attendant scans the item, then turns warmly to Lilan. Sir, your total today comes to 140,032 yuan. I will round that down for you. 140,000 even 2 yuan. Sods stops. Why is it that much? He has money, but he is not a fool. 140,000 for a stuffed dinosaur? That is a scam. The attendant pauses. Did she not tell you? Tell me what. Today, she broke 1 premium rosewood display cabinet, 3 mirrors, and 1 limited edition porcelain figurine. We can provide full receipts and invoices for all of it. The attendant points to a notably bare section of the shop floor. The scene of the crime, premeditated. That is why she had no money left. Lilan sighs and pays. The same sequence repeats itself several more times at other shops. By the time Li Mimi wheels him homeward, the day's total has reached over 800,000 yuan. Li Mimi hums a little tune with her candy in her mouth, a pile of bags on her back, bouncing along with every step. She is genuinely, radiantly happy. Forget it. She will be leaving in a few days. Just bear with it a little longer. Then Lilan senses it. People following them. 3, roughly. Mid-stage cultivators by the feel of it. Their eyes are not on Lilan. They are fixed on Li Mimi behind him, expressions unmistakably predatory. Lilan's brow furrows slightly. The old saying is true. Martial prowess invites trouble. Since he is not worried about them, he does not intervene. He simply waits to see when they will make their move. When the path leads past a dim alley, they finally cannot hold back. Hey there, little lady. Li Mimi looks at them with a frown. What do you want? What do we want? We just want to play a game with you. A game? Really? Li Mimi's face goes perfectly innocent. Can my brother join too? The leader glances at Lilan and smiles. He is welcome. But this game requires 2 working legs, so he might have trouble joining in. One of the others leers at Lilan. Actually, boss, I wouldn't mind including him. Look at that soft skin. Lilan's expression freezes. Li Mimi shoves his wheelchair aside immediately and looks up with total innocence. Oh, what a shame he can't play. Let me just move him out of the way first. You all wait right here. Sure, sure. The men grin. Li Mimi parks Lilan outside the alley, then bounces back in by herself. Lilan is not concerned. Even combined, those 3 are no match for Li Mimi alone. She is a late mid-rank strength-type power user, trained by the Li clan since childhood. Even some high-rank sorcerers would struggle to handle her. He just hopes there will be no fatalities. That would be bothersome. Lilan sits quietly in his wheelchair and waits. Right on cue, from inside the alley comes a scream of pain, followed by Li Mimi's cheerful laugh. Please spare me. Not there. It hurts. Run. This woman is a demon. Run. Wait, don't run. Come on, let's keep playing. Didn't you say you wanted to play a game with me? Liars don't get nice endings. A few minutes later, 3 men are dragged out of the alley bound and trussed up by Li Mimi. Below the waist, a mess. Faces swollen and bloody, bodies covered in red, blue, and purple bruises. What are you planning now? Keep playing with them, of course. Li Mimi says with a bright flash of her little canine teeth. Don't worry, I'll be right back. Lilan watches as she hauls all 3 men up to the top of a traffic light pole and drops them. Ropes tied to the pole, the 3 men dangle in midair, swinging helplessly above the intersection, drawing stares from every direction. Li Mimi skips happily back to Lilan. Ready to go. Brutal. Lilan says flatly and nods. The 3 men's cries fade behind them as a crowd gathers beneath the traffic light, some pointing and talking, most pulling out their phones to take photos and post to social media. Back home, Lilan finally settles into a proper sleep. Fire element resumes its diligent cultivation competition. Fire element energy plus 30. Wood element is half asleep but cultivates anyway. Wood element energy plus 10. Thunder element is wide awake and throws itself into cultivation with full energy. Thunder element energy plus 25. Su Xin is still cultivating. As for Li Mimi, the moment she gets home, she starts practicing combat. Thank goodness Li Lan bought a well-built apartment. Anything less sturdy would not survive her. 8 days later, 2 days before the qualifier, Li Lan receives a notice from the school first thing in the morning. They are asked to come in. Something needs to be communicated in person. They head over. The principal has them fill out several forms, liability waivers, and related paperwork, then walks them through the specifics of the competition. Like standard competitions, the qualifier operates on a one-on-one basis. No weapons, medicine, or supplementary aids are permitted during matches. Win and you advance. Lose in the final rounds and you may enter a revival bracket to fight your way back. That covers the essentials. Any questions? The vice principal asks. All 4 shake their heads. Good. You are welcome to stay on campus tonight. Tomorrow at noon, an official vehicle will come to take you to the provincial capital. You may also arrange your own transport if you prefer. Just let the school know in advance so we do not worry. Understood. 3 voices respond in unison. All 4 look at Li Lan. Sure enough, he is asleep again. The 4 of them have barely left the principal's office when a familiar face appears. Kui Minghao. Su Xin's brow tightens. Kui Minghao raises his hands immediately. Don't misunderstand. I am not here for trouble. The principal asked me to serve as your guide for this competition. Guide? Su Xin is puzzled. What kind of competition needs a guide? Wang Shaoxian grins. Kui Minghao spent months researching every top contender in the province, preparing for the qualifier, only for the principal to select you instead of him. He was so furious he nearly threw himself off the 4th floor. No wonder he was so angry back then. Su Xin nods. You talk too much, Wang Shaoxian. Kui Minghao shoots him a look. He turns to the group. The principal covered the rules. My job is to brief you on the other competitors. I will start with the top 5 favorites. There are 5 standout competitors this year. They are Thunder Beast, Duan Zitao, Lone Wolf, Wu Tianxi, Elegant Prince, real name Su Wanyuo, and Shadow Arrow 567. The first 4 are all from the provincial capital. The last one, 567, comes from outside, from Xiangnan City itself, from neighboring Yiyang City to be precise. 2 years ago, taken on as a personal disciple by Elder Ghost Moon of the Tang sect. Power type, dark element combined with night vision. Estimated strength, divine arts sorcerer level. Number of divine arts mastered unknown. Thunder Beast, the young master of the Duan family, a non-elemental clan based in the provincial capital. By the time Li Lan gets home, it is already noon. He had been looking forward to a satisfying nap before the competition, but the moment he steps through the door, his phone rings. His eldest brother. Hello? Aren't you supposed to be at the military base? What are you calling me for? A deep, resonant voice comes through. Can't I just call my brother? Of course you can. Call whenever you want. Li Lan yawns loudly and deliberately, a clear signal that he is going to sleep. His brother seems not to hear it. You should still be in Xiangnan. I hear you have changed quite a bit lately. Grandpa has been praising you. I am currently in the provincial capital of Jiangnan province. The day after tomorrow, I head to the border for combat. Come see me. Just the 2 of us, and I want to see your strength for myself. The moment the call ends, Li Lan summons the private jet and sets course for the provincial capital. The jet descends slowly onto the rooftop helipad of a 5-star hotel. Su Xin wheels Li Lan down from the aircraft. An attendant approaches with a respectful bow. Welcome, honored guests. Do you have a reservation? We do not. My young master is here to meet someone. Su Xin answers for them. Li Lan has been asleep since midway through the flight. Who is your young master here to see? I can check our records for a note. Su Xin answers. Young Master Li Qingyang. Young Master Li Qingyang is in the presidential suite. Right this way, sir. The attendant leads them forward. The attendant stops before a gilded door and knocks gently. Mr. Li, your guests have arrived. Come in. The voice from inside is deep and magnetic, low, yet each word lands with perfect clarity. The attendant eases the door open, and Su Xin wheels Li Lan inside. The room that greets them is a spacious receiving hall, its walls lined with expensive original paintings. At the table sits a young man, holding a copy of The Art of War. He is absorbed in it, a head of red hair tied in a short ponytail, a well-proportioned build, lean muscle that speaks of raw masculine strength. His waist is clean and defined, his core carved as if by a sculptor, an undeniable physical presence. He sits like an emperor surveying his domain, perfectly still, yet radiating a presence that fills the room. This is Li Qingyang, first young master of the Li clan. Before the new year, in a battle against the Savage Spirit clan, he threw his life on the line and cut down 3 of their grand divine art sorcerers. He saved hundreds of thousands of lives and made his name in a single battle. As the eldest grandson of the Yan Emperor, he is reverently addressed as the young emperor, first young master. Su Xin greets him with barely concealed excitement, like a man meeting his own idol. Li Qingyang nods. His gaze moves to Li Lan in the wheelchair. A faint frown. Still this lazy. Should I wake the young master? No, let him sleep. Li Qingyang gestured to a seat. Sit down. Tell me everything that's happened these past 6 months. Li Lan woke to the sound of his eldest brother chatting with Su Xin. Lazy all the time and secretly training on his own? Why would he do that? Li Lan said nothing. Secretly training? He had never trained a day in his life. Lan, you're up. Come spar with me. Li Qingyang set down his book. Li Lan nodded, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. They moved to a bright, open training hall. I'll hold back my power. Just come at me with everything you've got. Li Lan's fists ignited. Drawing on the combat techniques he had picked up, he launched himself at his brother. But Li Li Qingyang seemed to read every move before it came, shifting aside with the lightest step to slip out of range. Too slow, Lan. Speed is the soul of battle. Li Qingyang carried himself like a seasoned commander, stern, unshakable, guiding a soldier under his charge. Got it, Li Lan shouted. This time he pulled back from close range, pouring every ounce of flame into his fist and hurling it from a distance. The flames erupted into a ferocious blazing tiger that lunged forward. Good, you're improving, but it's not enough. Li Qingyang leaped straight up. A true warrior adapts to any situation. Outthink your opponent to outfight them. Can you speak plainly? Li Lan muttered, turning the words over fast in his mind. Then his eyes caught something in the corner of the training hall. He threw another punch at once, blocking his brother's line of sight. He sprinted to the corner, tracked his brother's position, grabbed a sack of lime powder and flung it into the air. He burst it open. A white cloud billowed through the hall, stinging both their eyes in an instant. Li Lan's eyes burned, but he had no time to care. He dashed to where he had mentally marked his brother's position, ignited his fist, and swung hard. In an instant, the lime cloud vanished. Li Qingyang caught Li Lan's fist in his right hand. You've made real progress, he said with satisfaction, but your combat technique is still rough. Keep working on it. As expected of his eldest brother, nothing got past him. Li Lan had picked up what little combat technique he knew from Li Mimi's notes, but those notes barely covered the basics. No wonder it showed. In Li Qingyang's eyes, it naturally came across as amateurish. Understood. Li Qingyang glanced at his phone. It's getting late. I just got word. I have to go. I'll be waiting for you on battlefield, Lan. Li Lan nodded. Stay safe, big brother. After Li Qingyang left, Li Lan collapsed onto the sofa with a groan. If only he could lie here forever. He shut his eyes. Sometime later, he had no idea how long. Su Xin woke him up to eat. The next day, he rested from morning to night. On the third day, Principal Hao called to say the team had arrived at the provincial capital. They were to head to the arena for the tournament. When they arrived, the arena was packed. Mostly spectators come to watch. Li Lan, Su Xin, over here. A voice cut through the crowd. They turned to see Kui Minghao waving them over. Su Xin wheeled Li Lan toward him. Kui Minghao handed them each a match sheet. Su Xin, your opponent is Du Yue from Mingge Academy's Power Elite class. Li Lan, yours is a trickier one. Fan Long from Jiangnan First High Class 1. Strength type power user. Not long ago, he defeated a divine art sorcerer, while still ranked as a high-rank sorcerer himself. Su Xin took his sheet and was looking it over, only to find Li Lan already asleep. Su Xin quietly took Li Lan's sheet as well. I just explained all that and he's already out cold. Kui Minghao's mouth twitched. Across the crowd, a pair of eyes landed on Li Lan. Ah Zhuang, what's wrong? The one called Ah Zhuang fixed a venomous glare on Li Lan. That's the guy, bro. A few days ago his sister beat me up. You want me to get revenge for you? The young man frowned. His name was Ko Zhuang, and he was one of the competitors in this tournament. Exactly. I just glanced at her on the street, one look, and she laid into me, called me a self-important creep. Then she stripped me down and hung me from a traffic light. Ku Zhuang's voice shook with fury. The tournament's about to start. The disciplinary committee won't look the other way if there's a brawl. So what? They're not competitors. I came with you today. Remember? I checked the list of competitors from Shangnan City. Those two aren't on it. They must just be here to watch. Fine. Ku Zhuang sighed and turned to the man beside him. Huang Lian, go sort this out for my brother. Make it quick. We'll meet inside. On it. Huang Lian nodded. Let's go, little Zhuang. Sure thing. Make sure you hit that cripple hard, Ku Zhuang's brother added. I've been furious for days. I have never been humiliated like that in my life. Su Xin was pushing Li Lan through the crowd when someone stepped into their path. Huang Lian held out a cigarette. Hey, got a light? He looked them both over slowly. Su Xin kept his voice flat. Sorry, we don't smoke. No light. He moved to leave. Huang Lian's hand snapped onto the wheelchair. No light? Surely the guy in the chair has one. Let go, Su Xin said quietly. Say that again. I said, let go of your filthy hands, Su Xin repeated, word for word. You dare talk to me like that? Huang Lian swung a fist at Su Xin. In an instant, flames erupted from Su Xin's body, spiraling into a vortex that swallowed Huang Lian whole. Seconds later, Huang Lian sat on the ground, face white with terror. What did you... Before he could finish, security personnel came rushing over. No private fighting on competition grounds. Are you out of your mind? Excuse me. Su Xin turned to the officer, calm as ever. They threw the first punch. Everyone around us can confirm it. The bystanders nodded. A few even volunteered a quick account of what had happened. The officer checked their credentials, then turned a sharp look on Huang Lian. You attacked a registered competitor? Come with us. Su Xin glanced at Li Lan. Li Lan was awake. Nobody had noticed when. Let's go, young master, Li Lan murmured in response, his eyes drifting to the bruised and swollen face of Ku Zhuang nearby. Know your limits, Li Lan said softly. Do you know him, young master? No. Su Xin wheeled him away into the crowd. Young master? Huang Lian froze where he sat, unable to believe what he had just heard. Cold sweat broke out all over him. Who was that person? A competitor that powerful. And he calls him young master? Have I just picked a fight with someone with serious backing? He wanted to slap himself, and then a real hand did it for him. Who hit me? Huang Lian spun around and found Ku Zhuang. You little idiot. You said he wasn't a competitor. I didn't know. Get out of here. Go home, you useless troublemaker. Ku Zhuang fumed. Huang Lian fled. A young man in a white suit walked up to Ku Zhuang. What happened? Ku Zhuang's face broke into a grin at once. Master, you came. My brother caused some trouble. I was just setting him straight. The man in the white suit said. The tournament's about to start. I came to find you when I didn't see you inside. Let's head in. Ku Zhuang followed with pure admiration in his eyes. His master had risen like a meteor 6 months ago. In just 6 months, he had gone from a mid-rank sorcerer to a full divine art sorcerer. To Ku Zhuang, the man was practically a god. If his master hadn't insisted on keeping a low profile, that story would be all over the news by now. The man in the white suit gave a quiet hum of acknowledgement, then his gaze drifted, fixing on the fading figure of Li Lan. Master, what is it? He didn't answer. Eyes still on Li Lan, a slow, dangerous smile smile crossed his face. Li Lan. Interesting. The arena was a sea of people. The outer sections were filled with spectators. The inner sections held the coaches, guardians, and staff accompanying each competing team. At the center of the arena stood 10 massive fighting stages, each ringed by staff keeping order, floodlights blazing down on every platform. Reporters and live streamers from every outlet had their cameras trained on the favorites to win the championship, the 5 exceptional talents Kui Minghao had mentioned. Look over there. That's Duan Zitao from the Duan family of the provincial capital, the one they call Thunder Beast. Only 23 and already a divine art sorcerer. The sky's the limit for this one, a reporter called out, swinging a camera toward the Jiangnan First High section. Heads turned. A young man sat in composed silence, a steaming cup of coffee in hand, his expression cool and aloof. Oh wow, he's gorgeous. I love you, Duan Zitao. Marry me. A wave of screams rose from the outer stands, and not all of them were from girls. Their eyes burned with devotion, as if they wanted to reach right through the crowd and devour him. Duan Zitao glanced up once, then looked away. The nerve of that guy. I'm so jealous. Huang Shaoxian stared at Duan Zitao's section with barely concealed envy, eyes nearly popping out of his head. Kui Minghao patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry, you will never ever come close. He was part of Jiangnan First High's support staff and had clearance to the intersection. If you've got nothing kind to say, don't say anything. Huang Shaoxian shot him a glare. Principal Hao smiled quietly and said nothing. Su Xin was working on Li Lan's shoulders. Li Lan, as always, was fast asleep. Then came the appearances of Lone Wolf Wu Tianxi and Elegant Prince, whose real name was Su Wanyu, followed by Shadow Arrow 567, each arrival sending the crowd into a new frenzy. 567 drew far fewer eyes than the others, though. He was wrapped head to toe in black, face hidden behind a dark mask. No one could make out a single feature. Outside of Thunder Beast Duan Zitao, the crowd favorite was Su Wanyu. Her striking looks alone had won her a legion of admirers. In the Wangcheng First High section, Ku Zhuang watched them all with barely disguised contempt. A bunch of nobodies. They just don't know Master's true strength. If they did, they'd all be, well, not fall at his feet exactly, but shocked. Completely shocked. The man in the white suit sat beside him. Master is right, Zhuang quickly agreed. Behind them, the principal of Wangcheng First High leaned forward with a furrowed brow. Feng Heng, if at all possible, I want you to win this tournament. Staying under the radar was fine before, but this is not the time for that. The man in the white suit nodded with a smile. As you wish, principal. Among the reporters and live streamers, more than a few had zoomed in on Li Lan, drawn by his remarkably handsome face. But when they saw him sitting in a wheelchair, they assumed he was just a support staff member and moved on. The tournament began. All of Jiangnan First High's matches were assigned to Stage 3, so that was the only stage they needed to watch. The first match on Stage 3 was Lone Wolf Wu Tianxi of Jiangnan First High against a student from Mingde Academy's Power Elite class. Mingde's Power Elite class? Isn't my opponent from there too? Su Xin turned to Kui Minghao. Are they that strong? To be precise, only that one class is. Kui Minghao thought for a moment. Mingde's Power Elite class has more competitors in this tournament than any other school except Jiangnan First High. Speaking of which, Wu Tianxi was actually poached by Jiangnan First High. Su Xin nodded and, noticing the heat inside the arena, found a fan and started cooling Li Lan down. Huang Shaoqian watched with a helpless look. Su Xin, you've basically become this guy's mom. On Stage 3, Wu Tianxi's opponent from the Power Elite class looked at him with a mocking smile. Long time no see, senior. Less talking. Let's go. A ghostly green light ignited in Wu Tianxi's eyes. His teeth lengthened into fangs. His nails grew out, sharp, curved, and green. Kui Minghao lowered his voice. Wu Tianxi is a rare dual-type, poison element combined with wolf-type beast transformation power. Word is, once he reaches the grand divine art level, he'll be able to transform his entire body into a lone wolf. Frost crept across the floor beneath his opponent's feet. Cold air condensed in the boy's hand, forming an ice sword. He gripped it and strode forward, driving the blade at Wu Tianxi. The two clashed through several brutal exchanges. In the end, Wu Tianxi kicked him clean off the stage. The moment he hit the ground, black blood sprayed from his mouth and he collapsed, unconscious. Wu Tianxi wins, the referee declared from the stage. The staff around the stage went pale. Get a doctor, someone's been poisoned. Wu Tianxi, you heartless animal, someone from the Mingde section screamed. Wu Tianxi doesn't hold back at all, Huang Shaoxian breathed. To do that to his own former classmate. Kui Minghao leaned in again. That's nothing. I know something even more explosive. What? Tell me! Huang Shaoxian's eyes lit up. Kui Minghao dropped to a near whisper. Word is, Wu Tianxi had a father who drank and beat him when he was young. The first thing he did after awakening his power was kill him. Huang Shaoqian and Zhang Lianqi both went quiet, a sharp breath caught between them. Kui Minghao was about to say more, then Wu Tianxi's gaze drifted toward them, and his mouth snapped shut. Time moved on. Zhang Lianqi and Huang Shaoqian each took to the stage and scraped through their matches against opponents who weren't particularly strong. Next up was Su Xin against Du Yue. Su Xin set down the fan. Li Lan woke just long enough to register that Su Xin would win without question, then went right back to sleep. Sure enough, the moment Su Xin stepped onto the stage, one move was all it took. The crowd took notice. One move. Who knew Jiangnan First High had someone like this? Though compared to the real top talents, he's still a step behind. Several more matches passed. Then finally, next match, Li Lan of Jiangnan First High versus Fan Long of Jiangnan First High. Young master, your match is up. Su Xin nudged him. Li Lan's eyelids twitched. A gentle snore followed. Principal Hao nearly flipped the wheelchair over. Next match, Li Lan of Jiangnan First High versus Fan Long of Jiangnan First High. The announcement tournament rang out again. Left with no choice, Su Xin wheeled Li Lan directly onto the stage. The crowd stared. What is going on? That guy's in a wheelchair. They're sending someone in a wheelchair to compete? How could Jiangnan First High let this happen? Fan Long just got handed a free win. The referee frowned at the match sheet. According to the records, Li Lan was in perfect health, physically exceptional in fact. Su Xin leaned toward the referee and murmured, "Our young master is just like this. Please go ahead and start the match." The referee's mustache nearly flew off his face, but the rules said nothing about wheelchairs. He had no choice. "Match begin." Fan Long let out a sharp laugh. "Well then, I'll take this win." The next second, a burst of flame flared beneath his feet, and with a thunderous boom, Fan Long was outside the stage. Fan Long sat up from the ground frozen. He wasn't the only one. Every spectator in the arena, and the referee, had gone still. What just happened? How did Fan Long fly off the stage? Was that an explosion under his feet? Then, from the direction of the judges' platform, an aged voice rang out, "Stage 3, Li Lan wins." Jolted back to his senses, the referee quickly echoed the call. "Li Lan wins!" The crowd erupted. "What just happened? It was so fast, I didn't even see him move." "Same here. Looks like we've got a dark horse." "Young master, honestly." Su Xin, who hadn't even made it back to the intersection yet, turned around and wheeled him off with a helpless sigh. Fan Long slowly pushed himself to his feet, then his leg buckled. A wave of searing pain dropped him straight back down. The explosion, that was what did this. The realization hit him all at once. He stared after Li Lan's retreating figure, and fear crept over him. Cold sweat soaked through him. It took the support of a Jiangnan First High coach to help him limp back to his team's rest area. The principal of Jiangnan First High touched Fan Long's leg, and his expression shifted to outright shock. "What is it, principal?" "Compound fracture." "What? Who exactly is this Li Lan?" "I hope he turns out to be an interesting opponent," Thunder Beast Duan Zitao murmured over his coffee. On the judge's platform, a bewildered evaluator turned to a white-haired elder beside him. "Elder Tian, why did you just—" The elder replied without expression, "He is of the Li clan. If I am not mistaken, that technique was flame burst, a divine art passed down through the Li clan bloodline." Flame burst, the Li clan. The other evaluator's eyes went wide. "The Yan Emperor's Li clan?" The elder smiled and nodded. "Elder Tian, do you think he has a real chance at the championship?" "Wait and see. One victory tells you nothing about someone from a clan like that, even for a mid-level divine art sorcerer." Another dark horse. White death. Terrifying. This year's national martial tournament is full of surprises. A few hours later, a wave of commotion burst from stage 7. A student from Wangcheng First High named Fang Heng had defeated Su Wanyue, one of the 5 top favorites, in a single move. On stage 7, Su Wanyu studied Fang Heng with visible unease. "You're very strong, Fang Heng." Fang Heng smiled lightly. "You're very weak." Su Wanyu stiffened, gave a cold scoff, and walked off the stage. After the lunch break, the tournament resumed. The next match on stage 3 was Su Xin versus Lone Wolf Wu Tianxi. Both were rising talents. Eyes from across the arena shifted toward stage 3. In the Wangcheng First High section, Fang Heng watched the two step onto the stage with a quiet, unreadable smile. The referee raised his flag. Match begin. But the next second, for no visible reason, Su Xin collapsed. His body began to convulse. His skin flushed red. Veins of crimson spread across the whites of his eyes. Wu Tianxi's lips curved into a cold, vicious smile. His claws began to lengthen. He moved toward Su Xin, slow, deliberate. At that moment, Li Lan jolted awake. What happened to Su Xin? Why did he just collapse? Then the crowd saw Wu Tianxi moving in. He's going for a sneak attack. Su Xin is in danger. Wu Tianxi, you coward, attacking someone when they're down. Countless eyes fixed on Su Xin's crumpled form. Outrage rippled through the crowd, but there were voices on the other side too. Go for it, Lone Wolf. Kick him off. This is a fight. In a real fight, your enemy won't go easy on you just because you're not feeling well. Tianxi, teach him a lesson. Finish him. Principal Hao shot to her feet. Referee, my student Su Xin has had a medical emergency. I am requesting an immediate halt to this match. The referee looked at Su Xin on the ground, hesitating. Once a match starts, it cannot be stopped. Damn it. Su Xin lay on the stage, still convulsing. He could feel the sacred blood inside him surging wildly, pulled as if by some invisible force. Wu Tianxi stood over him, looking down with empty eyes. His voice carried no feeling at all. This victory is mine. And in the instant before he struck, Li Lan tapped the armrest of his wheelchair. A thunderous boom erupted beneath his feet. A massive wave of flame detonated, launching a wall of heat, and riding that surge, Li Lan leaped. He soared through the air under the gaze of thousands, and landed clean and steady on stage 3. Who is that? That's Li Lan, the talented cripple from before. He can walk? He's not a cripple. Mid-level divine art sorcerer? He's a mid-level divine art sorcerer. He can't be more than 16 or 17. A divine art sorcerer at 16. I can't even imagine it. What is he doing up there? Trying to stop the match? That's insane. He's breaking the rules. Does he want to be disqualified? From the outer stands came voices aimed directly at the judges. The committee saw that. Li Lan just violated the rules in plain sight. We demand he be disqualified. The spectator stands buzzed with voices. Shock layered on top of shock. Some were already shouting demands at the judges' platform, pushing for Li Lan's disqualification. The way Li Lan had humiliated their representative in the earlier match had cost Jiangnan First High face, and plenty of people in their section had been waiting for exactly this moment. They were stunned by his power, but that didn't stop them from pointing the finger. Wu Tianxi's claws were centimeters from Su Xin's throat, but the sight of Li Lan stopped him cold. He's not yours to touch, Li Lan said. Says who? Wu Tianxi sneered. Don't forget, I'm a divine art sorcerer too. Then try me, Li Lan said, flat and unbothered. A crackling buzz rose from his fists. Fire ignited around his knuckles. knuckles, and he drove a punch straight into Wu Tianxi's chest. Wu Tianxi moved to block, but he couldn't stop it. Li Lan broke clean through his guard and the blow landed dead center. Wu Tianxi coughed up a mouthful of blood that splattered across Li Lan's face. His entire body launched backward through the air. He crashed into the judge's platform with a thunderous impact, splitting the wooden table clean in two. Li Lan stood on the stage like a god of fire above the mortal world, loose strands of hair drifting across his face. Countless faces changed color. Two thoughts rose in every mind at once. One, he is powerful, he is stunning. Two, he just broke the rules and the judge's table, and he is in serious trouble. This man is out of his mind. Thunder Beast Duan Zitao stared at Li Lan, genuinely startled. That punch, I couldn't track it at all. Su Wanyu's face was frozen in shock. This man, he is terrifyingly strong. Su Wanyu stared blankly, mind gone still. Shadow Arrow 567 pulled off his mask to get a clearer look. Fang Heng went rigid. Only 6 months, he said under his breath, disbelief written across his face. How is he this strong already? The principal of Jiangnan First High rose to his feet and called out to the judge's platform. Honorable evaluators, what Li Lan has done clearly violates the rules of this tournament. He has openly disrupted a match in progress. I move to have him disqualified. One evaluator hesitated, then stood. I second the motion. Li Lan should be disqualified. One by one, more evaluators rose. The atmosphere on the platform went taut. There were 6 evaluators on the panel. If 3 voted to disqualify Li Lan, he would be out of the tournament entirely. Elder Qian sighed slowly. I think this matter warrants more careful deliberation. The other 3 evaluators, mindful of the Li clan standing, found themselves at a loss for words. The principal of Jiangnan First High caught the eye of one of the 3 undecided evaluators. The evaluator noticed the look, wavered, and was just about to speak when a red-haired man in golden armor descended from the sky, riding a blazing dragon. A wave of scorching heat rolled over the arena. Dread seized the crowd. Grand Divine Art Sorcerer. The same 4 words flashed through every mind. Sir, who are you? Even if you are a Grand Divine Art Sorcerer, surely you are aware this is an official tournament? One evaluator demanded, voice firm. He was only a Divine Art Sorcerer himself, but he had the authority of the official body behind him. He would not be intimidated, though the slight tightness around his eyes gave him away. The principal of Jiangnan First High stared at the newcomer. Something about him was familiar. The remaining evaluators turned to look as well. Elder Qian blinked, then it clicked. He looked toward Li Lan. Any chance of disqualification had just vanished. The crowd stared at the newcomer. Blank faces, awed faces, every kind of face. Hello everyone. I am a companion of justice, a guardian of peace. Golden Holy Warrior, Li Qing. The fire dragon beneath Li Qing's feet dissolved as he touched down. I'm here to watch my little brother compete. Golden Holy Warrior Li Qing, of the Li clan. The 5 evaluators' expressions shifted, and they quietly sat back down. The principal of Jiangnan First High pointed at Li Lan on stage 3 with a suddenly cooperative smile. That young man over there. The arena erupted. Li Qing, the Yan Emperor's line, a grand divine art sorcerer of the Li clan. Good heavens. Li Lan is actually from the Li clan? The Li clan? Why would someone like that be attending a school like that? Something doesn't add up. Li Qing, he's a direct heir of the Li clan, isn't he? Which means Li Lan is one too. Someone like that could walk straight into Azure Dragon Academy. Now things are getting interesting. Let's see if they still dare to disqualify him. Disqualify? What does that mean? Li Qing asked, genuinely puzzled. The principal of Jiangnan First High's face froze. He turned to the judge's platform. Honorable evaluators, I withdraw my motion. Then he turned and left quickly. Several other principals who had been watching the drama kept their eyes fixed on his retreating figure until he was completely gone. The referee on stage 3 stood at a loss for a long moment, then chose his words with diplomatic care. Su Xin has lost consciousness on the stage and is therefore deemed to have forfeited. This match ends with no victor. Everyone turned to look at Wu Tianxi, unconscious on the judge's platform. The evaluators quickly waved for staff to carry him away. Li Lan carried Su Xin to the rest area and set him in the wheelchair. He checked his pulse. Steady. Only then did he allow himself to breathe. Li Lan, Su Xin, is he alright? Wang Shaoxian and the others were stunned by Li Lan's identity, but concern came first. Li Lan shook his head. He should be fine. Li Qing had made his way to Li Lan's side. Principal Hao and the others greeted him with a flurry of polite words. Li Qing nodded, then turned to Li Lan. Lan, breaking the rules is not something a guardian of justice does. I never wanted to be a guardian of justice, Li Lan replied, expression blank. He wasn't surprised by his third brother's arrival. Li Qing had been stationed in Jiangnan province for months. Do you know what happened to Su Xin? Li Lan shook his head, eyes on the wheelchair. He was fine just a moment ago. How did he just drop like that? Li Qing settled in beside him and spoke unhurriedly. If someone in this arena carries sacred blood of exceptional purity, blood that has fully merged with their body, then they have the ability to affect anyone else carrying sacred blood. The lower the purity, the weaker the fusion, the more vulnerable they become to the influence of a high purity carrier. And this influence is not passive. It is deliberate. Li Lan looked at his third brother, startled. You already knew? Rushing out of a secret realm in a panic? That's not like you at all. Which meant only one thing. The problem was with Su Xin. Third brother, is there a way to help him? No. Alright then. Li Lan leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. You're not even going to ask me more? You just said there isn't a way. Not completely without options. Li Qing looked at Li Lan, confirmed he was listening, not sleeping, and continued. There are 3. First, eliminate the sacred blood in his body entirely. A full cure. Li Lan gave him a flat look. That's worse than saying nothing. If there were a way to do that, the sacred blood wouldn't still be inside him. Li Qing didn't miss a beat. Second, find the high purity sacred blood carrier inside this arena and kill them. Li Lan sat up. Third brother, do you know who in this arena belongs to the black coffin? Li Qing shook his head. No. Then what was the point of that? Li Lan lay back down. I haven't told you the third method. Patience. Li Qing gave the third in front of Lilan. He opened a video. It showed what had happened earlier that day, specifically the moment Su Xin collapsed, and Lilan sent Wu Tianxi flying with a single punch. Now Lilan understood. The camera angle was from the judge's platform. One of the evaluators was from Azure Dragon Academy, and had passed the footage to Muke. Muke had spotted the thunder element in that punch, and come straight here to secure him. Lilan, that punch today, you weren't only using fire element divine art, there was thunder element in it too. You hit it well, but you can't hide it from these eyes. Muke said it with undisguised pride. Any other recruiter would have walked right past you, but you got me. My eyes don't miss, and I am not about to let you end up at another academy. A dual element divine art sorcerer is a different creature entirely from a single element one. It's not simply 1+1. In real combat, a dual divine art user who commands both elements well can take on two single element divine art sorcerers alone, and win. Teacher Mu, may I ask what the top grade treasure is? Muke smiled. Of course, it is a psychic type treasure, the psychic amber. Wear it and you temporarily gain psychic power at the divine art sorcerer level. Psychic amber. So if I had it, I could awaken a psychic power? Lilan was tempted, but still he hesitated. Teacher Mu, if I join Azure Dragon Academy, would I be required to attend classes? Muke's brow furrowed. Of course you would. Students attend class. That is non-negotiable. Unless you were a teacher, he paused. And it's Mu. My name is Mu. Understood, Teacher Mu. How exactly does one become a teacher at Azure Dragon Academy? Become a teacher? This kid is dreaming. Muke let out a small laugh but answered anyway. The minimum requirement to teach at the academy is reaching the Grand Divine Art level. I'd strongly advise you to drop that idea and focus on attending class like everyone else. Grand Divine Art level. Lilan thought for a moment. In that case, teacher, I won't be a student. I'll be a teacher at Azure Dragon Academy. Very well. From today you are my... Muke stopped. Something was wrong. What did you just say? Are you sure you heard yourself correctly? Lilan nodded. Didn't you just say that any Grand Divine Art sorcerer can be a teacher at the academy? Lilan raised one hand. With a quiet shift of focus, vines began to grow from his skin. They grew and grew, spreading wider and thicker until they filled the entire sitting room. Muke sucked in a sharp breath, staring at Lilan in disbelief. Are you actually human? So I qualify to be a teacher now? Muke took a breath. I'll need to check with the academy. I'll be waiting for good news, teacher. A few minutes later, Muke returned. The academy agrees. On one condition, you must pass a test first. What kind of test? Teaching is a responsibility, shaping and guiding students. Raw power alone means nothing. You also need to be able to identify mistakes. Muke placed his phone in front of Lilan. It displayed several images, pages from what appeared to be a cultivation manual. What's this for? Not sure yet. This is a visualization art used to enhance elemental absorption efficiency. This particular one contains 17 errors. Find 10 of them and you pass. Easy enough. Lilan took the phone and studied the pages carefully. At the same time, the system's voice chimed in. Detected. The advanced earth element visualization art the host is currently viewing contains 24 errors. The system has automatically corrected them. Error 1, Error 2, Error 3. Lilan went through each one carefully. Muke smiled. Lilan, being a teacher is no simple thing. If you truly can't find enough errors, there's no shame in it. Spend a few years as a senior student, pick up some teaching assistant experience, and you might be able to skip the test altogether and move straight to teaching. As it happens, I'm looking for a teaching assistant right now. Interested? A few minutes later, Lilan set the phone down. Done, Teacher Mu. He handed it back. There aren't 17 errors in this manual though. I count 24. What? That's impossible. Muke's face went stiff with disbelief. Don't make things up if you couldn't find them. If you don't believe me, I'll point them out one by one. Go ahead then, Muke said, refusing to back down. If there really are 24, I'll stop calling myself Teacher Mu. The vice principal had given him this document personally. He had checked it himself. 17 errors. Did this boy think his eyes were broken? Then Muke's phone rang. He glanced at the screen. The vice principal. He answered on speaker. Vice Principal Wei, what can I do for you? My apologies, the vice principal said. I sent you the wrong version. The one I sent has 24 errors, just so you know. The line went dead. Muke stared at Lilan, jaw nearly on the floor. Lilan, please call me Teacher Li, Lilan said with a smile. I look forward to your guidance, Teacher Mu. Muke's face turned deep red. He had absolutely nothing to say. The benefits we promised, and your faculty token, someone will arrange all of that once you arrive at Azure Dragon Academy. See you tomorrow. Muke turned and fled. Lilan called after him. Teacher Mu, make sure they give me a relaxed post. Otherwise, I really can't be bothered to teach anyone. A voice drifted back from down the hall. Yes, you and your endless demands. Lilan shut the door with a satisfied smile and went straight back to sleep. Look how lazy you are. Fire element begins diligently cultivating. Fire element energy plus 45. Look how lazy you are. Wood element begins diligently cultivating. Wood element energy plus 41. Look how lazy you are. Thunder element decides to be just as lazy. Thunder element energy plus 0. Body severing art cultivation complete. Congratulations on mastering the art. Physical constitution will no longer increase from this source. A few hours later, another knock came at the door. Who is it? Lilan dragged himself out of bed, blanket still wrapped around him. He opened the door. A boy of about 7 or 8 stood there. a skull pendant hanging from his neck. Deeply unsettling on a child that young. What kind of parents put something like that on a child? Who are you looking for, little one? Leland asked. I'm here for you, the boy said. For me? Leland blinked. Then dark energy began pouring from the boy's nose, eyes, mouth, and ears. Grand divine art sorcerer. The realization hit Leland like a thunderbolt. He kicked the boy, hard, sending him flying. The boy slammed into the wall with brutal force. The wall cracked and crumbled apart on impact, but the boy was completely unharmed. He hopped down from the rubble, eyes bright with amusement. Leland, we meet again. That tone, that cadence. Leland recognized it at once. The high priest of the black coffin. How touching, you actually remember me. I didn't expect you to grow this fast. I had considered inviting you to join us, but looking at you now, that seems unnecessary. He flicked a small hand. The dark energy around him surged and condensed, coiling into a massive black serpent with burning red eyes. The serpent hissed and lunged. Leland slammed the door shut and vaulted aside, barely clearing the strike. Thunder and fire erupted from his fist. He drove the punch into the serpent, and it exploded apart, but it reformed instantly. So you have thunder element as well? The high priest's eyes widened. Then he burst into laughter. This just keeps getting better. A talent like this, worth killing properly. Actually, I won't kill you. You'll make a fine new vessel for me instead. His shirt bulged. A massive tentacle tore out from his navel and whipped toward Leland with savage speed. Body type power. At the same moment, the black serpent struck again from the other side. What a vile and terrifying power, Leland thought, already moving. This enclosed space was working against him. He sprinted for the rooftop. You can't run. The high priest's voice followed. The tentacle swelled, growing longer, thicker, faster. He whipped it at Leland. Leland threw himself into a roll, barely clearing it. The tentacle slammed into the wall, and the entire wall collapsed. The floor's alarm system blared. The high priest blocked the exit. More tentacles tore free from his navel. They replaced his legs entirely, carrying him in a frenzied charge after Leland, crushing everything in the corridor along the way. As he burst through the rooftop door, Leland dropped from above, the doorframe, fire and lightning blazing across his body, fist driving straight down at the high priest. The high priest moved to intercept with his tentacles, and then realized, without knowing when it had happened, that every single tentacle was already bound, wrapped tight in a dense tangle of vines. Wood element, grand divine art level. The child's face flashed with pure shock. Too late to react. Leland was already on top of him, fist arcing down toward his head, when one tentacle tore free of the vines and threw itself in the way. Leland's fist connected with it instead. A deafening crack. The tentacle burst apart, pale red flesh scattering across the rooftop. The high priest went white and let out a shriek. The dark red flesh began pulling itself together, compressing into a massive rolling mass of meat that hurtled toward Leland. Leland's focus shifted. Vines erupted in every direction, coiling around the mass and locking it in place. Flame burst. The next instant, every vine detonated at once. A wall of heat blasted across the rooftop. Fire poured into the night sky. Heads across the city tilted upward toward the hotel, trying to draw attention, hoping someone comes to save you. A barrier sealed around the high priest. The mass had been blasted to scattered fragments. The high priest glanced at the pieces strewn across the rooftop, and they crawled back into his navel on their own. The tentacles retracted after them. What is he doing? Leland's eyes narrowed. While the high priest was unguarded, he channeled his thunder element divine art, and a bolt of lightning as thick as a child's arm came roaring down from the sky. But before it struck, the high priest opened his mouth, his jaw stretching open over a meter wide, a meter deep, a cavernous bloody maw that swallowed the lightning whole. Body type power, a devouring maw. Leland couldn't hold back. Doesn't that disgust you? Disgusting, why would it? Leland said flatly. It's just deeply wrong. The high priest glanced down at the crowd gathering far below, and smiled. Then he leaped into the darkness and vanished into the night. I'll be back for you, Leland. I'd rather never see you again. Leland watched until he was certain the high priest was truly gone, then exhaled. That thing is terrifying. An endless bag of horrifying tricks. Leland went back inside. The door was still standing. The wall behind it was not. He checked on Sushin, still fine, then lay down and went to sleep. Before long, hotel staff came to find him. Leland assumed they wanted compensation, but the security footage in the corridor had been completely destroyed. They had come only to ask him to make a brief statement at the security bureau. Leland said a few words and left it at that. The next morning, Sushin woke up. Leland filled him in briefly, told him to find another hotel, and headed to the arena alone. The finals. The arena was even more packed than the day before. Near the judge's platform, Leland spotted 5 new evaluators. From the chatter around him, he learned they represented the 5 great academies of Dragon Nation: Azure Dragon Academy, Vermilion Bird Academy, White Tiger Academy, Black Tortoise Academy, and Keelan Academy. Among the 5, Leland spotted a familiar face, Teacher Mu from the night before. Leland took his seat in the Shangnan First High section. People around him offered greetings from every direction. Most of them he had never seen in his life. He nodded his thanks to each of them. Is Sushin awake? Huang Xiaoshen leaned over. Is he okay? Wide awake. Running, jumping, eating, not a scratch on him. Leland stretched with a yawn and dozed off. The news about Sushin drew a collective sigh of relief. Principal Hao turned to him. Leland, you're the only one left from our school. After you left yesterday, everyone else lost. Leland nodded without opening his eyes. Don't worry, Principal. I'll do my best to take the championship. That's exactly what I was waiting to hear. Principal Hao smiled, then glanced at Kui Ming Hao. Kui Ming Hao hurried over and gave a quick summary of what had happened the day before. The one thing that genuinely surprised Leland, Wu Tianxi was alive. Leland, watch yourself. Wu Tianxi said he's going to put you on the ground and keep you there. Leland wasn't particularly worried. He gave a simple nod. In the first half, every competitor matched against Leland forfeited on the spot. His performance the day before had been that convincing. Leland lay back in his chair. First half complete. Fire element is automatic automatically cultivating, fire element energy plus 10, wood element is automatically cultivating, wood element energy plus 12, thunder element is automatically cultivating, thunder element energy plus 13. The second half exploded into action. Only 20 competitors remained. The judges' platform gave the signal. All 10 fighting stages were cleared away. A massive circle was marked out across the arena floor. All remaining matches would be fought within its boundary. Inside the circle, a course of obstacles had been set up. Artificial rock formations, an oversized pool, a dark tunnel, and more. The crowd erupted in excited shouts. The arena floor had expanded more than tenfold. With terrain and obstacles added, the match format opened up entirely. More tactics, more surprises, and a massive boost for stealth-type power users. Next match, 567 of Yiyang Middle School versus Duan Tianyu of Jiangnan First High. The match began. Both stepped onto the arena floor. Duan Zitao's little brother, Duan Tianyu, is in trouble. He had the strength to crack the top 10, but he drew Shadow Arrow. Easy. There's still the revival round. How many moves do you think Duan Tianyu can last against 567? 10 moves. Duan Tianyu is Duan Zitao's brother after all, trained in the Duan family tradition. I say 20. On the arena floor, 567 stood masked and wrapped in black. Duan Tianyu studied him with a grave expression. 567, I've wanted to face you for a long time. Never had the chance. Until now. Today, let me find out if you're worthy of challenging my brother. The words had barely left his mouth before his vision went black. Dark element power. A curtain of darkness. When the light returned, 567's blade was resting against his throat. I lost. Duan Tianyu sat down on the floor, disbelief written across his face. 567 said nothing, not a single word, and walked off. The crowd erupted. 567 wins. Second match, Wu Tianxi of Jiangnan First High versus Li Guang of Jiangnan First High. Wu Tianxi wins. Third match, Su Wanyu of Jiangnan First High versus Sima Kang of Mingday's Power Elite Class. Su Wanyu wins. Fourth match, Fang Heng of Wangcheng First High versus Lu Zhuan of Jiangnan Second High. Fang Heng wins. Fifth match, Thunder Beast Wan Zitao of Jiangnan First High versus the Languid God of Fire from Xiangnan First High. Li Lan. Please welcome our two-star competitors. The arena rose to its feet. Every pair of eyes locked onto the two figures. Li Lan, who had been asleep, slowly opened his eyes. Duan Zitao, who had been drinking coffee, slowly set it down. On the outskirts of Xiangnan City, deep in Mount Luoyun, a desolate cave filled with dozens of coffins, a child stepped inside. The moment his feet crossed the threshold, every candle in the cave lit itself, casting a faint and flickering glow. With a grinding crack, the stone lid of one coffin slowly slid aside. Out of it rose a woman, tall, dressed in a teacher's uniform, lips painted deep crimson, serpent tattoos coiling across her skin. The child rushed into her arms. She lifted him gently, found a place to sit, and settled him in her lap. Well then, did it go as planned, High Priest? No. The enchantress raised an eyebrow. Does Li Lan have a powerful protector nearby? No. He himself is the threat. His true strength, he is an early-stage Grand Divine Art Wood element user. 17 years old. A Grand Divine Art sorcerer. The enchantress murmured it slowly, as if tasting the words. But even at the early Grand Divine Art stage, he is no match for you. Do you no longer wish to kill him? He is a good child. The enchantress stared at him, then let out a quiet, speechless laugh. The High Priest moved on. By the way, the matter I asked you to handle earlier, is it done? The enchantress nodded and carried the High Priest deeper into a dark inner chamber. The candles flared to life all at once. Inside, more than a dozen teenagers, boys and girls, all around 15 or 16, were held captive. The moment they saw the enchantress, their faces filled with terror. One of them, a heavy-set boy, trembled as he spoke. Please, please let us go. I'll never bully anyone again, I swear. Me too, the others chimed in around him. The enchantress set the High Priest down. He asked softly, won't or wouldn't dare? Won't, we won't. They cried out all at once. The enchantress turned to him. What do you intend to do with them? The same as always. Bad children must die. The warmth drained from the High Priest's face, replaced by something cold, hollow, and deeply wrong. Just then, a scorpion the size of a child's palm crawled onto the enchantress's foot. She lifted it gently onto her palm, tilted her head to listen, then looked at the High Priest. The clown is here. The words had barely settled when a figure walked in. Full circus clown costume, painted face, oversized red nose and all. He swept a look around the cave, his expression curling with distaste. Same as always. You still love living in a trash heap. What do you want? The High Priest asked, voice flat and cold. The clown smiled. The Hanjiang secret realm. I may need your help with something. The enchantress moved to see him out. Somewhere in Jiangnan City, inside a private villa, Li Qing, the Li clan's third son, was watching an animated show. On screen, a villain declared, "You wretches who terrorized Blue Star, your crimes cannot be forgiven. Face the judgment of justice." The images flickered across the TV. Li Qing's face had gone red. He was practically bouncing in his seat, arms waving, so caught up he had completely forgotten the soda pop in his hand. Then the door burst open. A man covered in blood stumbled inside. Li Qing's expression shifted completely. He paused the show. "Wang Kai, what happened to you? Something's wrong. Young Master Li Lan may be in danger." The previous night, inside the arena, Li Lan and Duan Zitao had stepped onto the arena floor. Duan Zitao spoke with quiet gravity. "Li Lan, I've wanted to fight you for a long time." Li Lan yawned. He didn't appear to be listening at all. "This guy drives me insane." Acting this relaxed against Thunder Beast Duan Zitao, Li Lan really doesn't play by any normal rules. Hasn't he always been like this? But his opponent this time was Duan Zitao, the single strongest favorite among the original five, the one everyone had tipped to win. I'd love to see this lazy guy actually lose for once. Same. I want to see if he's still this casual casual after he drops into the loser's bracket. Against Duan Zitao, Li Lan is finished. Seeing Li Lan's posture, the stands buzzed with chatter. Plenty of people were openly rooting for him to lose. Once the 20-person round concluded, competitors would be divided into the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket. The winner's bracket would continue competing, while the loser's bracket would enter the revival round, with only the strongest survivor returning to the main competition. On the judges' platform, Muke patted Elder Tian on the shoulder. "Well done." Elder Tian looked flattered. "Just doing what I should." The other evaluators exchanged bewildered looks. Muke returned to his seat. The White Tiger Academy evaluator leaned over. "Old Mu, who do you think wins this one?" The Black Tortoise Academy evaluator cut in first. "Duan Zitao has the better odds, I'd say. Thunder Element is famous for its raw dominance. Fire Element falls a bit short." The Vermilion Bird Academy evaluator turned cold. "What exactly is wrong with Fire Element? You can't handle a little honesty?" The Keelin Academy evaluator weighed in. "I also favor Duan Zitao." Duan Zitao. Keelin Academy has already set its sights on him. Looks like the five of us are going to be fighting over the results again. Muke shook his head with a quiet smile and said nothing. The match began. The referee dropped his flag and stepped off the floor. Duan Zitao struck first. Lightning surged beneath his feet, and he flashed to Li Lan's side in an instant, fist driving hard toward his stomach. Li Lan didn't yield a single inch. He caught the fist barehanded, and a detonation of force shook the air between them. Flame burst. A terrifying pressure wave swept the entire arena, blasting the hair of every spectator straight up from their seats. Incredible physical conditioning. Duan Zitao's eyes sharpened. He pulled back immediately, not daring to take another exchange at close range. A crackling hum rose from his body as lightning coiled around him. He swept out a palm. A serpent of pure lightning shot at Li Lan at blinding speed. Flames rose around Li Lan. They condensed into a defensive shell. The lightning serpent crashed into the fire, and both vanished at once. The two clashed through a dozen more exchanges. Then, in the middle of the arena, Duan Zitao caught a moment of inattention and teleported behind Li Lan like a lightning strike. Both palms blazed with thunder, the kind that felt like it could unmake the world, and came crashing down toward Li Lan's back. "Looks like it's over." The White Tiger Academy evaluator smiled. "In the end, even fire that can burn everything dims in the face of lightning like that." The Vermilion Bird Academy evaluator gave a cold scoff, quietly crestfallen, but unable to argue. Muke kept smiling and said nothing. The next instant, just as Duan Zitao's thunder palms were about to connect, Li Lan dropped. One palm slammed into the ground, and a storm of sand and fire exploded upward. A curtain of sand and dust swallowed the arena floor. Duan Zitao froze, and his stomach dropped. He knew this was deliberate. From the very beginning, every step into the arena, every exposed back, every apparent opening, all of it had been intentional. He was studying me, using me to map out his own strategy. Duan Zitao's scalp prickled. Li Lan was already gone from where he had been standing. As the dust began to thin, a wall of heat slammed into Duan Zitao and launched him off his feet. The dust settled. Duan Zitao was out of bounds. The arena exploded in shock. Every evaluator wide-eyed, every breath caught. Terrifying. If this boy doesn't fall, he will be the next Yan Emperor, worthy of the Li clan, worthy of being the Yan Emperor's grandson, worthy of being Li Qingyang's brother. Even I almost thought he had lost. The Vermilion Bird Academy evaluator stood frozen, mouth open. The White Tiger Academy evaluator stared blankly. How is this possible? The Keelin Academy evaluator exhaled slowly. I didn't expect this. Even I misjudged him. Li Lan, Keelin Academy is claiming him. Don't any of you dare compete with me. Dream on. Black Tortoise Academy already has him. Muke kept smiling and said nothing. Thank you for the match. Li Lan, rare for him, spoke first. Duan Zitao held his gaze for a long moment. Thank you. You are very strong. I accept my defeat. Li Lan smiled and returned to the rest area. Duan Zitao entered the loser's bracket. The mood in that section was grim. Just then, Li Qing came rushing in from outside the arena. Only after confirming Li Lan was completely unharmed did he breathe again. What happened at the hotel last night? Wang Kai's injuries were severe. Li Lan had practically forgotten Wang Kai existed. He didn't want his brother to worry. I honestly don't know. I just fell asleep. Sounds like an accident then. The tournament went on. Li Lan fought through several more matches, winning every single one. The only other competitor with a perfect record was White Death, Fang Heng, who had swept through the bracket on the strength of his dark element power alone, leaving almost no one standing. Even 5, 6, 7 had fallen to him. In the end, it came down to Li Lan and Fang Heng, the final. The rest of the rankings had been decided. Third place, Thunder Beast Duan Zitao. Fourth, Lone Wolf Wu Tianxi. Fifth, Shadow Arrow. 5, 6, 7. Two dark horses this year. Didn't see that coming. Neither had I. I'd never heard of either of them before this. Word is Li Lan is from the Li clan, the Yan Emperor's Li clan. How is that possible? I've never even heard of Jiangnan First High. The Li clan sinking to that level. Hard to believe. But Li Lan is something else. That fight against Thunder Beast Duan Zitao, I was speechless the entire time. Fang Heng though, that's real power. I couldn't even track his attacks. Exactly. That match against 5, 6, 7. Both of them wrapped in black fog. Nobody could tell what was happening inside. And then 5, 6, 7 just lost. Who do you think takes the championship? Fang Heng. His attacks are impossible to read. Same. Li Lan is stunning to look at, but I get the feeling Fang Heng has the edge. Me too, because Fang Heng not only has dark element power, but also a late high-rank flesh blade power. The man's body is harder than actual steel. With only a fire element power to speak of, Li Lan might genuinely not be a match for Fang Heng. Li Lan lay back in his chair and went to sleep. Look how lazy you are. Fire element decides to be just as lazy. Fire element energy plus 0.